24/7 government hotline staffed by poison experts. It's free to call and available in over 100 languages. Every second counts in a poison emergency. Don't waste it wondering who to call. Save poison help in your phone today. 1-800-222-1222.
Hunger lives in neighborhoods all around us, but it doesn't have to. Together, we can provide 1 billion meals by 2030, because everyone should be welcome at the table. Learn more at nourishingneighbors.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score!
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
McCarr with it again back at his own blue line. Forced to retreat up the left side. Fumbled away, bouncing puck that's just thrown into the Colorado zone one more time by Eichel. 2 seconds left. Colorado fires at the length of the ice, and the unlikely has happened in the Western Conference Final. The Pacific Pillow Fight Division champion Vegas Golden Knights have swept the President's Trophy winning Colorado Avalanche with tonight's 2-1 win in Game 4.
It is the Adam Gold Show. Hi, everyone. I'm Adam Gold. That's Victoria. Big night tonight. Game 4 on tap for us. There will be no Game 5 in the West.
Nope.
That was the national radio broadcast of the Vegas Golden Knights sweeping the Colorado Avalanche out of the playoffs.
Easily. It looked so easy. Last night I was like, are you good? Are you good? Wait, the game started like 20 minutes ago, right?
I have not heard anyone talk about how trash the Pacific Division was.
Right.
In the play-by-play highlight, that guy did reference the pillow fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because Vegas won the division with 95 points. 95 points would have missed the playoffs in the Eastern Conference by 3.
Yep.
98 was the low number. Ottawa and Philadelphia, I think. No, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh each had 99. Ottawa had 98. That was the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And to be... Actually, I think Philly had 98 points. Well, it doesn't matter. Obviously, they're all more than 95. But we haven't had the narrative that, because we've heard this with the Hurricanes, that the Hurricanes beat up on the Metro every year. Never mind, they haven't won it the last 2. Washington, best record in the East last year. The Rangers, best record in the East the year before. And, crickets. Nobody talking about that. But when it's Carolina, we understand. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to play the aggrieved party role. And I'm really not an aggrieved party. It is just funny to me. And this is not, by the way, this is not about ESPN or Sportsnet in Canada or TSN. It's mostly not independent news, but it's mostly the larger, loud hockey community that hasn't quite grasped that the Hurricanes have been this good for this long, consistently good for this long. So it must be the division. Now, the Atlantic Division has provided the Stanley Cup participant since 2020. Tampa, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
State of Florida owns hockey.
Yeah.
Right? They've won 4 of the last 6 Stanley Cups.
Wait, the South doesn't know anything about
Exactly.
hockey?
Vegas and Colorado have the other 2. But what we should be celebrating is, hey man, there are great teams everywhere. And yes, certain years, certain divisions are down. I would agree that The Metro was down this year. Nobody was good in the Metro behind Carolina. There were different degrees of okay to surprising. Pittsburgh would be on the surprising scale. Philadelphia got good late, but nobody was that good. So I get it. Yeah, the Metro was bad this year. But I don't think anybody was doubting whether or not Carolina was good last year, and they finished second.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think anybody was doubting that Carolina was good the year before, and they finished second. So I am enjoying the mental gymnastics and the obvious frustration from people who cannot fathom what is going on. And again, it's not just about Carolina, but it's about Vegas too.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about this later when we we touch on what Vegas did to Colorado, which is a surprise to some, not to others. But it also is an indication that hockey, and we've said this forever, the puck ain't round. It's of the four major sports, it has the greatest percentage of random outcomes.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that you can't explain it. There is a randomness and a luck factor in the NHL and the playoffs that does not exist in other sports. And it's also probably the biggest gap between the styles of play in the regular season and the postseason, which Carolina has been accused of not playing, right? They're a great regular season team, but they're not a good postseason team. By the way, those same people will tell you that Carolina plays postseason hockey all year long. I'm having a hard time with that line of thinking because I have heard it for both of those things from the same people. Their style, Carolina's style, is postseason hockey. What they have not been able to replicate in the postseason over time has been getting the goal. And frankly, when we're going to talk about this, getting the goal has been a problem even this year as Carolina is 10-1.
Yeah.
Got to get more. Are we ready? We should go.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started.
And you will hear from Seth Jarvis in the get the goal type of a thing. Because the truth of the matter is that Jarvis, they all want to like score goals. You got to get. Do we have the clip of Jarvis saying that it's good that it was good for them to contribute offensively?
Let's see here. We've got quite a few Jarvie clips.
Yes, I see three, but I don't see the one where he's talking about it was good to contribute. We got to do more of that. But either way, we all know that is what Carolina has to have. They must have that from Seth Jarvis, Sebastian Aho, and Andrei Svechnikov. We'll get to that in a minute. Here's why tonight is such a must-win for Carolina. And I talked about this yesterday. I'll bring it up in my conversation with Sean Hill coming up at the bottom of the hour because a loss tonight invites hope. You do not want to give this Montreal Canadiens team any hope. The idea that what happened the last two games, the dominance that Carolina put on display, you don't want to give Montreal the idea that wasn't real, that wasn't normal. Somehow, the fact that overtimes were needed, that was a sign that the Canes aren't the significantly better team. Now, because in terms of style, in terms of performance, Carolina has absolutely owned the last two games. Now, we know that they're better than Montreal. We also know that they are not leaps and bounds better than Montreal. But the last two games, they significantly outplayed the Canadiens. And with that said, because of the because of the fact that both games went to overtime and both 2-2, it's easy to say, well, we could have had two different outcomes. And of course you could have, no doubt about it. Well, I don't know about game 2. I don't think Montreal had the puck at all. I don't think they attempted a shot. It wasn't a long overtime. It was only 3.5 minutes, but they didn't attempt a shot in the overtime in Raleigh. Carolina did all the shooting in that one, and Nick Ehlers eventually won it. But Game 3 could have ended differently. There were two great scoring chances right off the hop in the overtime, and then they did basically nothing until Carolina won it on the Svechnikov goal. All right. So, yes, it could have ended differently. This could be a 2-1 series in the way of Montreal. But we all watch the games, and Montreal watch the games, and they are under no illusions. They understand that they were significantly outplayed in those two games. If you have done any listening to what is coming out of their locker room or from Martin St. Louis, he gets it. There's been a lot of respect shown to Carolina, and Carolina needs to keep earning that respect. But tonight is the game in which Carolina must take it to another level. The offensive part of Carolina's game has to be there tonight. I've said this. I said it yesterday. I say it on the podcast all the time. We do the post-game podcast. If you're unaware, Canes Corner podcast, we get to it probably 45 minutes to an hour after the game is over, after the local post-game show ends. Carolina in 11 playoff games, ignore empty net goals, has scored 3 or more goals twice. That's it, just 2 times. Both against Philadelphia. Game 1, they won 3-0. Game 3, they won 4-1. That is not going to cut it. Scoring 2 goals in 60 minutes of hockey has worked so far. It will not work from here to the end. I promise you. If the Canes score twice in each game over 60 minutes, they will be lucky to advance past Montreal. It's going to happen. Montreal's too good. They're going to score 3. The Hurricanes will need to start scoring at least 3 goals in regulation. And I'm telling you, in order to win a Stanley Cup, you are going to need more offense than they have put out there, and they're going to need it from Jarvis, Aho, and Svechnikov, and we'll get to that in a second. And I think tonight is where it has to start. Montreal is not going... They're going to do different things than they have done the last 2 games. I don't know that they're going to do what they did in Game 1 because that was, in many ways, helped along by what Carolina did. Or didn't do. So this game will be different. I promise you. Seth Jarvis, who was happy to be a contributor, he got the primary assist on the Andrei Svechnikov goal, knows that they have. Did we find it? We didn't find it. It was the first clip in the post game in that press conference from yesterday. But he knows they've got to be better tonight. He knows it was good to contribute, but they've got to be better tonight. And that's all of the other things that Carolina's done well, and all the great defense. All the work from the fourth line, they have to be better offensively with their best players. But the truth of the matter is that if they don't get offense from those guys, it's probably not. They're not going to make the Stanley Cup Finals. I just don't think you're beating Montreal. If they do, I'm happy to be proven wrong. But they've got to be better offensively. Jarvis was asked about not getting caught up in getting points, but building. I think this is the clip I was talking about.
Yeah, I think the last few games we've been all around it. I think we've been creating chances. Obviously, you'd love to see more go in, but to get one like that in a moment like that was huge for everybody. And just to start help contributing to the team offensively is what we want to do, and keeping it simple seemed to pay off.
No doubt about it. That was all about. By the way, that was the fourth line that created that chance for Carolina. Yeah, it was a turnover by Lane Hudson, but it was the fourth line that created that chance. Now, a lot of people are going, man, you see, Montreal's only got 25 shots on goal in the last two games combined. 25 combined. They have 22 in game 1. 25 in games 2 and 3 combined. By the way, 22 is not a lot either. 22 is below the average of Carolina, I believe, led the NHL in fewest shots allowed. And I think it was like 24. So Montreal's high for the series was below Carolina's average shots on goal allowed. And Seth was asked to explain it.
It's just a buy into our system. It's not just like the fourth line, those guys doing that. It's everybody in our system, and that's what we expect is all lines, all defense to put in an effort defensively to stop their chances. We know how offensively talented that team is, and so the more you can get in the way, and whether it's blocking shots or just kind of diverting plays with your stick, I think a lot of it leans on our D-men, and they do a great job of just kind of taking away passing lanes and using their size and speed to kind of make their players a little more uncomfortable and maybe not want to shoot the puck as much.
Yeah, but look, Carolina's taken away all space. And I saw Jake Evans and Josh Anderson talking about it today. That what the Hurricanes do is they eliminate the room. They eliminate your time. So when you get the puck, and Martin St. Louis talked about it yesterday as well, when you get the puck, you've got to be ready to move it immediately. You have to know where you're going to go with the puck before you get it. That is the trick. The way when Carolina is playing like this, you don't have time. Shane Gostisbehere. By the way, before we play this one, I saw Eric Cole. We had Johnny Lazarus from Daily Faceoff on yesterday. Eric Cole went on their show today. I was on their show, I think it was last week. Eric Cole went on there today, and they wanted to ask Eric about a potential matchup against Vegas. And Eric was like, not talking about it. Wait, I want to point out that Eric's not a player. It doesn't matter. If Eric Cole looks ahead, it doesn't matter if I look ahead either.
Or if he touches the trophy.
Right, exactly. His name's on it. He's allowed.
Yeah.
My name is not. I would not touch it. So it doesn't matter if Eric, but he's like, nope, I ain't doing it. Once a player, always a player, I will say. And I don't do it either because I still think that's why tonight is so big. I'll promise you this, and I want you to hear the Shane Gostisbehere clip. If Carolina does not win tonight, we will be back here on Tuesday for a Game 7. Now, if you want to go to a Game 7 against that team that's already 2 for 2 on the road in overtime in Game 7s, by all means, have at it. I don't want that. Now, if that's our lot in life, we'll accept it because you'll take your chances. I'll take my chances with this team against any other team in one game. But I don't want that jeopardy, which is why tonight is so big. I think if Carolina wins tonight, the series ends on Friday. But Carolina, for them to win tonight, it ain't going to be 3-2 in overtime. They're going to have to get to 3 or 4 in regulation, 3 or 4 in regulation. And it might still go overtime, but you're going to have to score. You have to score goals tonight. So Shane Gostisbehere was asked how hard it is to not look ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we got an old group in there, veteran group, and we know the task at hand. I mean, it's cliche, but it's one game at a time. We know there's a lot of hockey left in this series, and just you feel like you're going out there having great games, but it's just enough every night. You could look at the shots, you could look at everything, but the scores they're tight games. So for us, obviously, no chance we're going to look ahead, and it's always just the next game.
That's the way. That's what Martin St. Louis was talking about yesterday when he talked about Carolina being a mature team. It's because it's not the fact that they have older players. I mean, Montreal has older players too. It's that Carolina's younger players, and there's a lot of youth on. I mean, Seth Jarvis still young, Jackson Blake, Logan Stankoven still young. Andrei Svechnikov and Sebastian Aho are still young players. I mean, they're experienced players. This is year 10 for Aho. But they're still, they're in their mid to late 20s. They're still relatively young. They're just in their prime. But they have so much playoff experience that, this is the one, I think, which game was it? I guess last game was the 100th playoff game for Aho. It's the 100th playoff game for Rod Brindamore as a coach. Aho's been in all of them. Andre hasn't because he missed time during one entire playoff season, and then he missed time during the first one. But so there's a lot of playoff miles on even the young players. Even Blake and Stankoven. This is Stankoven's third playoffs. He's gone deep in each one. Blake, conference finals last year. They think this is what it's always going to be, and maybe it will be here. But it has been a remarkable run. But that's what they're talking about. It's about a mature team. Real quick to Vegas. They broomed Colorado out of the playoffs. So this is what Colorado did during the regular season. 121 points, 55 wins, 302 goals, and a goal differential of plus 99. And what did that get them? 4 and out in the conference finals. They were 8-5 in the playoffs. They went 8-1 in their first 2 rounds. They lost only 1 game to Minnesota. So how did this happen? People are searching for answers. Well, first of all, hockey happens. We've already discussed it. It's a random game at times. But also, the injuries piled up. It's not just that Nathan MacKinnon took a puck off the knee and was rendered mostly immobile for the end of the second and into the third period on Sunday. Cale Makar entered the series hurt, right? He entered the series. He didn't play games 1 and 2 at all. And we can pretend because Makar played so many minutes and was a plus whatever in game. Well, I actually don't even remember his stats. I just know he played a lot of minutes in game 3 and 4. Played 27 minutes last night. We could pretend that he was the same, but he wasn't. He's dealing with something that I don't know if it's going to require surgery or not, but he was clearly compromised with an upper body injury. McKinnon was clearly compromised by a lower body injury. They had other injuries. I believe Nishushkin was hurt. Lehkonen was hurt. Ross Colton was hurt. Yeah, a lot of things that they were dealing with physically. Not only is the NHL regular season a war of attrition, but when you get to the playoffs and the physicality ramps up, it's just hard to maintain your roster, which is why getting out of series as fast as possible is even more vital. Brings me back to why Game 4 is so important tonight. You don't want to play 7 games with Montreal. If you can get out of this series in 5, and that would be amazing, you do it.
That'll be good with the Knights because they're getting rest.
Yeah, but you want them to everybody
get rusty.
Yeah, I mean, if the series wraps on Friday in 5 games, I think everybody will get 3 or 4 days off.
Yeah.
Vegas, of course, will be off since yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the injury bug matters. Cale Makar being 60% of Cale Makar matters. And then, yes, there were some players that didn't play well. Brent Burns, I thought, had a very poor... I thought he had a poor playoff. Forget about this series. Nobody for Colorado played well in this series. I thought Brent Burns was a liability for the entirety of the playoffs for Colorado.
And Martin Necas couldn't get a goal.
Well, he had 1 goal. Necas, I think we all saw the Martin Necas that we saw here.
Very familiar.
During the playoffs, right? And, well, my look at it is not as negative as other people. Necas is he's a fancy player. And fancy doesn't necessarily work in the playoffs. There's a place for it. Hey, I'm old enough to remember when Marty Necas' wraparound goal saved Carolina's ass against Nashville in game 5, when they were down a goal in the third period, and Necas had an unbelievable bolt of lightning moment, and his wraparound goal got Carolina to overtime in that series in game 5. They would have lost game 5 on home ice and gone back to Nashville down a game in the series. And Nashville was really playing well at the time. They beat Carolina in double overtime in games 3 and 4 in Nashville in that series. But Carolina got even, won the game in overtime, and then won game 6 in Nashville in overtime. So my recollection of Necas is maybe a little different than others. My opinion of Necas in the playoffs, he's not a bad player. He's just not the same player. He doesn't like, he will go to the middle of the ice, but in the playoffs, it's different. And it's really hard to bang on a guy for a point a game. He had 12 points in 12 playoff games. 12 points in 12 playoff games? 12 points in 12 points in 13 playoff games. It's really hard to bang on him for that. Like, he produced not quite at the level he produced during the regular season, and yes, just one goal. I get it. And some of those assists might be like just empty calories. I also get it. But he wasn't a 0. On top of the fact he was a plus player. He was +5. So it wasn't like he was a liability. I'm telling you, Necas is the least of Colorado's problems. Their problems were, and this is why when people asked me during the playoffs, who would you rather play? I have always said the same thing. I would rather play Colorado. Because Colorado, for me, once you got past Makar and Taves, and since they play almost half the game, it's hard to. I thought Colorado's bottom 4 on defense could absolutely be attacked. I don't think that about Vegas. I think Vegas is excellent on the back end. Really good. And that's why, look, it should be hard. There should be no easy paths to winning a Stanley Cup. You might get a break in a round, and I think Carolina did in the second round this year. They didn't get a break in the first round. They just swept Ottawa. But that wasn't a break. Those were 4 hard games. Philadelphia was more of a breather, even though Carolina needed overtime twice. Vegas is awesome. And I think people would maybe be surprised. I think they were the betting favorites before the season started to win the West. If not, they were the second choice. Most people thought Vegas was going to be great. They just had a bad regular season. And they got lucky because the Pacific was so bad. The pillow fight. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, Sean Hill, who played both in Raleigh with the Hurricanes and also played with the Canadiens. And we will talk with him next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoot, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. Join me and my co-host Chris Lee from WREL TV as our podcast Panthers Playbook rolls on this offseason, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Carolina Panthers news as we break down the NFL draft, insights on free agents and prospects, plus all the inside information on the offseason. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. How do they become the #1 sports book? They give you something extra. Same game parlays, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. A little boost for the action. More ways to build, more value every time you play. I've done it, and it's awesome to click that little yellow button, and all of a sudden, you go from plus 300 to plus 420 or whatever it is with the boost. So if you're betting same game parlays this NBA postseason, go to FanDuel. There is no better place. You get more options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. Go to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, official partner of the NBA. Play your game. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
It's bow time. We know there's a lot of breakfast sandwiches out there, but only Bojangles has the legendary Cajun Filet Biscuit. Shake things up with a boldly seasoned chicken breast on a fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit with bow rounds and your choice of drink. So when you're craving something bold, something different, something that takes breakfast to a whole new level, the Cajun Filet Biscuit is waiting for you, along with crispy bow rounds and a drink. Order in the app or at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your craving for Cajun with a Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuits are served all day, every day. And with that biscuit, why not add Bo's Iced Coffee? That's right, Bo's Iced Coffee with sweet cream. Choose caramel or French vanilla. Bo's new Iced Coffee, a great way to sweeten your day. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Got any markdowns on oil?
We've got many markdowns on oil.
How about on that new STP Any Mileage?
You'll save $5 when you buy 5 quarts of STP Any Mileage with an oil filter and get up to 5,000 miles of protection.
Heck of a markdown for quite a lot of miles.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is Adam Gold.
He doesn't have many years to choose from.
No, and part of that was COVID. Nobody's picking COVID.
COVID was a great year.
Yeah.
Look, if you invested in Zoom,
oh, that was a good year. Yes.
You had a good year during COVID.
Yep.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. I can't stress enough how important tonight's game is for the Hurricanes. Yes, they have already taken home ice advantage back. They accomplished that, just like Montreal, by winning Game 1 of the series, accomplished taking home ice away from Carolina for the time. All Carolina did by winning Game 1 was even the series at 1. Montreal was still technically ahead in the series. They broke serve. So Carolina returned the favor, and by winning Game 2, you break serve. And now we're back on even terms. Carolina gets home ice advantage back. But lose tonight. My opinion is you give Montreal, you give them life. Win tonight, and you pretty much come close to taking it away. Sean Hill joining us now on the Adam Gold Show. So just how important a game is this tonight for the Hurricanes?
I think it's huge. Hope is so important, and if we can win today and go up 3-1 and then know we got a game back home again, I think that's a huge, huge game, but they're going to come with everything they have. So it's, I think this is going to be the hardest one yet.
And I agree, and I think it's arguably the most important game in this series. I know Carolina losing Game 1, Game 2 it felt like a must-win. But this feels like if Carolina doesn't win tonight, that it feels like a 7-game series, and with Montreal's talent level, it just seems like something you don't want to get into.
Yeah, I think, obviously I love the position we're in, and I love the way we played the last game and the second game too. But Montreal is, I think they're a really talented team, and the way they snapped the puck around in the first game, I know that wasn't us in that game, just not the way we play, but you still have to complete all the passes and stuff, and they were zipping it around. So, that being said, yeah, I want to see an effort again tonight, like we had last game, and just keep rolling line after line, coming at them wave after wave. And if we do that, I think it's going to be a tough task for them.
Sean Hill is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Is it hard to convince yourself that you're only halfway? I mean, the way the last two games have been played, where really Carolina was dominant. Is it hard? Because I don't think for this team it's that hard to convince themselves that this job isn't over.
No, I think we got a real mature mindset, and obviously a mature group, and I don't think they look ahead. I think they do it one game at a time, and I think as far as being mentally strong, I think we got a great level of that mental strength in that room. So I don't think they have any problems looking past games and hanging on to past games that we've already had type of thing. So I think they do a great job of keeping their eye on the prize and one step at a time. So
is because these two games went to overtime, and maybe it's easier because of that. So many people have said, well, Montreal could easily be up 3-0. And the truth is that, yeah, they could. They did have a great chance at the beginning, 2 great chances at the beginning of the overtime on Monday night. And this could be a 2-1 series in favor of Montreal. Do you buy into this is so that the margins are so close, or is it more about Carolina had been dominant and this was always going to be 2-1?
I mean, it could be 2-1, but that'd be everything going right for Montreal for them to do that with the amount of zone time, the amount of possession, and everything we've had. But that's a great thing about hockey. You have to play the games, and you can have games like that where one team spends 65, 70% of the time in the other team's zone, and they go down one time and it's in the net. That's why people watch, and that's why it's such an enjoyable and exciting and entertaining sport. So, it definitely could be, but I don't think that's, what anybody that's on our side of the fence is thinking. I think we're more adhering to the fact that we've been coming after them in wave after wave and line after line, and it doesn't matter if it's the first line or the fourth line. You look at the shifts that our fourth line has had, and they're in their zone and they're putting pressure on. They're getting opportunities and they're scoring a goal here and there. And I just think it's been a very impressive showing, not by the total number of goals we've scored, obviously, because Dobish has been playing unbelievable. Yeah. But just the fact that we've had it in there and had the chances and the possession, and it's been a great showing so far as that goes.
I'm glad you brought up the fourth line, because Jankowski, Carrier, and Robinson, not only were they were on the ice for the first goal, but they created the possession situation. And yeah, Lane Hudson just gave the puck away to Andrei Svechnikov, which led to the overtime goal. But the shift before, they were defending in their own end because the fourth line was out there. I mean, you could make the case that they've been the most pivotal line in the series.
Yeah, I think they've done exactly what you want them to do. And, I think people in the Carolina side of things, we know what they're going to do, and we've seen it. And some other people that don't really follow the Canes, they might say, why is he putting the fourth line out there right now? And 7 seconds later, they're cycling the puck and getting chance after chance. And, you kind of get a smile on your face when you're on this side of things. And it's a weapon for us. I mean, to have a line like that, be able to put them out in situations like that and haven't checked the ice time, but I imagine they're playing over 10 minutes, probably between 10 and 15 and having great shifts. So, you get in situations when you get further into the playoffs, and to have your fourth line playing that type of minutes is a huge bonus as opposed to having them play 4 or 5 or 6 minutes. That's resting other guys, and not only resting those guys, it's not like there's a drop off when we're getting these guys out there. So it's a serious weapon to have in your arsenal.
No, and I think it's given Carolina an advantage. The depth has certainly given Carolina the advantage. I talked to Chad LaRose before the Ottawa series, and one thing he said to me then was he assumed that Carolina's depth would wear Ottawa down. And even though Montreal's they have gotten contributions throughout the playoffs from their entire lineup, that hasn't happened here. Carolina's depth has definitely worn them out. Eric Cole said something to me the other day that I found fascinating. You played in Montreal as well. Sean Hill is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. He said if you get out in front of them, the Montreal crowd at Belt Center, they'll almost turn on the home team. I don't know if you felt the same way when you played there, maybe you played it when you played against them. Is that a possibility if Carolina gets out in front of this game?
I don't think so at this point in it. They've been starved for so long that I don't think that's going to happen at this point. In the past, possibly when they've had teams that aren't this caliber, but right. I think they're so happy that this group has come as far as they have, that they're overjoyed, and I think they're going to support them no matter what happens, which I think they should,
Yeah.
But, I don't think that's going to happen, but it definitely has happened in the past, and you see it in the past, but I don't think it'll happen now.
It's still a good idea to get out in front of the game. Do you get the sense that the Aho, Svechnikov, Jarvis line is on the verge of getting back to being dominant on the score sheet too? Because it's looked the last couple of games like they're getting better.
Yeah, you definitely are seeing flashes of it. I love to see Aho in front of the net for that game-winning goal, whether it was his or Svech's, I don't even know. But that being said, yeah, the zone time's starting to come. They're starting to get the chances. They're showing the speed again. So, if we can get them just a little bit more on the score sheet, I think that's going to be something that's going to be awful tough to overcome for Montreal.
I think, to me, that's the separation. That's where Carolina's they become the team that can win it all when those three guys start getting all over the score sheet. And I think the Stankoven line took like 2 games off before looking great again yesterday. Sean Hill, before I let you go, I want to ask you about the veterans, a guy like Taylor Hall. And even though Nick Ehlers doesn't have a ton of Stanley Cup playoff success, and actually Taylor Hall doesn't either, what they have added to the team, whether it's a physical dynamic, let's just deal with Taylor Hall, the physicality that he is playing with, the edginess that he is playing with, sometimes even like treading the line between good and evil. What are your thoughts about that?
I love it. I think, I think you nailed it on the head right there with treading the edge of good and evil, because I think that's what the other team's looking at when they see him coming over the boards. Is he gonna borderline run me? Is it gonna be clean? Is it, And I think that's a great mindset that he's put in the other team for us. He's playing hard, he's playing heavy, and not only that, when he takes the puck off you after he runs you over, he's making a skill play that's Hart Trophy stuff. So it's great to see. I think a guy like that is so valuable for us, and can't say enough about him, how he's come here and accepted that role and been such a great influence on Stanky and Blaker. It's a amazing job he's done this year.
Yeah, and I love seeing Jackson get into it after whistles. I appreciate his feistiness. All right, this is the last thing. Defensively, Game 1 was a mess. What have you seen from the group in Games 2 and 3?
The doors will be closing soon.
Yeah, I just think that it's been, every game those guys are coming and You just can't say enough about them. They're relentless, and they got attitude now. They got some swag. It's just what a second line they are, and I don't even know if they are the second line. So, and that's a great tribute to them.
Sean Hill. The second line has been great defensively. Carolina has obviously locked it down the last 2 games. When we come back, we will have one-timers, top of the hour, former NHL defenseman, now with NHL Network, Jason Demers. And then it's a Chip Patterson Wednesday. The SEC acting like I don't know, they're trying to remind everybody they still exist.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on down at Destin? Come on, guys, you're supposed to be the biggest, baddest bullies on the block.
Oh, and while you leave your one-timer question in our YouTube chat, you can also answer our poll question, which is, who do you think's winning tonight, Game 4? Canadiens
That's the question?
or the Canes? Yeah, I want to see
that's the question.
I want to see our vibe tonight because also tonight is Dosh's birthday. He's turning 25, so hopefully we can give him a non-birthday present.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want Jakob to have a good time tonight.
Nope.
No, man, spoil the party.
Yeah.
Somebody lick, and then wipe their finger right across the cake.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Buy some insurance.
Exactly. All right, one-timers is next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Everybody wins when you buckle up for safety. This spring, be in the game to win the game, on and off the field, on the way to the game and all the way home. Fasten your seatbelt. Every seat, every time. It's the safety gear you need to prevent serious injury or death in a vehicle crash. Your coaches, teammates, and family members are counting on you to make the winning drive with one ultimate goal: safety. Go to clickitorticket.org to learn more. It's not just about the law, it's about saving lives. A message from the Governor's Highway Safety Program and the NCAA.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell doesn't fudge on deliciousness. Our new black raspberry fudge ice cream in pints and half gallons combines black raspberry flavored ice cream with dark chocolate flavored chunks and a chocolate fudge swirl. The result is real. Taste the truth.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
Carolina Complete Health, from neighborhoods in Charlotte to families in Greensboro, Raleigh, and Durham, all the way to Asheville and Wilmington, and everything in between. We are here for communities across North Carolina, connecting you to the care and support you need. We are here to make healthcare easier to access and understand. We are here to bridge the gap, because your health matters. Your community matters. You matter. We are here for your health. Visit hereforyourhealthnc.com.
You know the only feeling sweeter than opening a college acceptance letter? Knowing that you'll be able to pay for tuition however far you go. The first step? Completing the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA for short. Find out how much money for college you qualify for. Grants, scholarships, and other opportunities are waiting. How far can you go? Find out at cfnc.org/FAFSA101.
As public power customers, we experience fewer outages and faster restoration than customers of other electric providers. But the benefits of having a locally owned electric system go far beyond unbeaten reliability. Our local public power employees support our community, providing electric hookups for events, installing and maintaining ballpark lights, holiday lights, traffic lights, street lights, and more. Local people working together to meet local needs. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Are you taking care of someone on Medicare? Navigating Medicare can be overwhelming. You're not alone. The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program can help you figure out what steps to take and when. SHIP counselors can answer your questions. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Your child's doctor shares your goals. A healthy future for your child. Doctors recommend vaccines throughout childhood because they protect what matters most. Your child's future from preventable disease and serious illness. Discuss any questions you have and check that your child is up to date and talk about any concerns. You're right to have questions. Get real answers. Start a conversation with your doctor today. Visit vaccinesforkids.nc.gov. Paid for by NCDHHS.
This is Adam Gold.
From William, what does Jarvie need to do to get going?
Candy, like sour worms.
Oh, for sure. He's probably one of those psychos that likes warheads.
Yeah, you nerds. He would eat those. Yeah, get a whole bag of those, Seth. Go nuts.
Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold, Victoria, producing the program. Chip Patterson next hour. Also, former NHL defenseman Jason Demers will talk playoffs with us right at the top. Right now, one-timers. And a reminder, you can go to the YouTube all the time and contribute in the chat. YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan will get you to there. You can also subscribe when you get there. Why not do that? All right, what do we got?
Exactly. So if you do want to contribute to our poll question, right now the Carolina Hurricanes are leading 93%
No
to
way.
the Canadiens 7 to win. Just this game. Not the whole series, just this game.
Must be a bunch of people from Montreal voting.
It is. Well, we do have Francis in there, so how you doing, Francis? He's basically like 28 of them. So.
That's fine. You can vote as many times as you want?
No, I don't think so, but he is in that chat enough for about
what
85.
Is he saying?
He's definitely a Canadiens fan.
That's fine.
So, which is fine. That's
no problem with that.
No issues with that. But
I'd be a fan of that team too if I wasn't a Hurricanes fan. I love that team.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Yeah. Great coach. But first up, NC Citizen. Do you think Nikishin has been off the physical game since the hit in Ottawa?
I don't think I don't believe he's played a ton. He's clearly been sixth on Carolina's, ice time list among defensemen. So I think as much as we want Alexander Nikishin to be a physical, wreck shop type of a player, I don't know that he is by nature that guy. I think he is going to develop into that. I think he'll find it more necessary to play that way. But it also could be that, having your bell rung like that, which it clearly was, has had an impact on him. But I also think that he hasn't played a ton. So we'll see.
Yes, we will. Next up from Andy. Are the Canes not making great shots? Or is Dobush really playing that good? Or it seems like at times the Canes put the puck right on the goalie logo.
Well, I think every team does that.
Mm-hmm.
Goalies are big. Their equipment is enormous. I think Dobush is playing exceptionally well. He's made some great saves. But I think the bigger issue here isn't, Dobush has been great. The bigger issue is how many shots Montreal has blocked. And 33 blocked shots in the last game. And I don't know how many blocked or deflected passes, which is something Carolina is great at, by the way. But Montreal has really bothered Carolina's finishing because they have, again, blocked a ton of shots. They have made it difficult for Carolina to get those clean looks. And I think Carolina trying to make the extra pass, Montreal's had sticks there too. So just like Carolina's, I think, frustrating Montreal, Same goes the other way. So, and yes, Dobish has played well.
Very well. And unfortunately, it's birthday. Maybe fortunately. Who knows? Maybe that'll work against him. Maybe he'll be distracted.
Too much sugar.
Yeah, exactly. So this was kind of just asked within the chat. So I'm curious your thoughts. Do you think the Habs are going to be taking more or less than 15 shots on net this game?
Well, I mean, it should be more for them, but I think there's an assumption here that Montreal is choosing to shoot less.
Right.
I don't understand. If Carolina plays the way they have played the last 2 games, then I won't be surprised if the number is similar to what we've got. I do think that Montreal, and this is what they should do, Montreal should just fire more shots from the point and see if they can't get to the interior, get a deflection. To me, that's what Montreal will likely do. But I think Montreal's best move is to play the way they normally play, and they're just going to have to do it quicker. I of course, don't want to help them, but to me, it's Carolina slows you down with the way they play, and Montreal's got to play faster like they did in Game 1.
So last but not least, we do have some people looking ahead to the next round
By
if the
all
Canes
means,
can
do
make
that.
it. So some were asking, should we fear Vegas? Yes, we should. And if you'd like to explain why, then take the floor.
Because they're good. They're amazing. They just beat Colorado 4 in a row. Why wouldn't you fear that team? It's like, they're awesome. But like Eric Cole, I'm not entertaining it now. But I'll just tell you, I picked Vegas to win the West anyway, so I wish I had bet it. What an idiot.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
One goal.
Let's go, Canes!
Slavin, he gets it to Hall. Hall whips it across. Blake with a shot. He scores! It's over!
Hoist Lord Stanley's Cup.
Oh, this is going to be fun, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Wow. Playoff hockey. Here we go. Here's a chance. Sebastian Aho in. Short hand back in. Scores! Oh, talk to me, Shorty! Carolina!
The Triangle's official home for the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Life's great stories are built on yes and. Yes to the big game and the private suite. Yes to the beach and sailing offshore. Yes to traveling the country and exploring new ones. With the new Millionaire for Life from the North Carolina Education Lottery, you can say yes to $1 million now and every year for a lifetime. Millionaire for Life. Winning is just the beginning. Drawing 7 days a week. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.47. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
This is the sound of Claire, cooking dinner at home. And that's the sound of a fraud alert from Wells Fargo, flagging a charge for a pricey restaurant in Paris. Considering Claire isn't in Paris right now, that seemed odd. To the bank and to Claire. 2 taps later, Claire says nope to the charge, and Wells Fargo is on the case. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing Mountain Dew. So give me my good friends, give me a
Grab some ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Stop by Handy Hugo's for great deals on your favorite Mountain Dew products. Head to Handy Hugo's today.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
In World War I, American fighter pilots covering a plane's rear position coined the phrase, "I've got your six," to mean I've got your back. Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org using the number 6.
I need a little range, step to the range, come on, meet me at the
Introducing the new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club Sandwich. With that juicy Chick-fil-A chicken on a buttermilk ranch bun, jalapeno ranch sauce, and pickled jalapenos, it's a little ranch with a lot of kick. The new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club with original spicy or grilled filet. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at richielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Ellis gets it in. The Cavs will bring it across the timeline. The clock winding down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Over the last 27 years, the New York Knicks endured 17 losing seasons, 14 head coaches, 9 different lead basketball executives. They've been one of the least successful and most unstable franchises in the NBA. But that's all in the rearview mirror now. For the first time since 1999, the Knicks are in the NBA Finals.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. I don't know if you've heard this, but there's a big game for tonight. That, of course, was play-by-play of the end of the Cleveland Cavaliers season. Knicks winning that series in 4 games, now awaiting the winner of Oklahoma City and San Antonio. Game 6 will be in San Antonio, I believe, tomorrow night. So we're out of NBA basketball until tomorrow. Just like if Carolina, well, regardless of what happens tonight, there'll be no hockey tomorrow because the West is over. But let's talk Final Four of the NHL with Jason Demers, who is a 700 games in the NHL, 61 in the playoffs, working for NHL Network, and you can watch him at 5 o'clock NHL Now and NHL Network tonight. Mr. Demers, how are you?
I am doing fantastic. I am grooving to that intro music you just played, and I'm feeling myself right now. All
right, well, that's good. Victoria is great at a lot of things, including the appropriate return music. Before I get to Carolina and Montreal, let me ask you about Colorado, because this obviously has come up, because 121 points, 55 wins, 302 goals, 99 plus 99 goal differential. Didn't matter much when we get to the third round of the playoffs. What do you make of why this happened and getting swept by Vegas?
Oh, I mean, there's so many things you can look at, and, looking on the Colorado side, their depth scoring kind of dried up a little bit, and, they had some timely injuries to the wrong players.
Yep.
Nathan McKinnon gets that shot block that kind of hampered him a little bit. Cale Makar misses game 1 and game 2, and I know everybody goes, well, everybody's hurt in the playoffs, but those are 2 of arguably the best players in the NHL. But, I think when you play at that high level all season long like Colorado did, and you kind of breeze through the first 2 rounds, you haven't really faced much adversity all season long, and you just kind of hit a ceiling in terms of how much more can you elevate your game. Whereas Vegas kind of limps into the playoffs, and they've just gotten slowly better, and it's kind of just been a slow climb for them this whole playoffs, and they're peaking right now, as they showed in that round against Colorado. I just think they were the better team all series long. They're a deep hockey team. The return of William Karlsson has unlocked that center position. Carter Hart's arguably playing, he's been the best goalie in the playoffs in the last 5-6 games. I don't think, against Utah, he struggled a little bit, but the last 5-6 games, he has been dialed in, locked in, and that's all it takes in the playoffs is understanding when to peak at the right time. And sometimes it's a luck of the draw, and other times it's just the way your team is built. But they found something, and John Tortorella is pushing the right buttons. They're 4 lines deep. That D-core has been very stout and moving the puck very well. So it was not so much what Colorado was lacking, but the fact that Vegas just elevated to another level that Colorado just couldn't get to and sustain anymore because they've been doing that all season long.
Yeah, I think the injury to Cale Makar is, you not only are you talking about arguably the best defenseman on the planet, but he plays almost half the game. That's a lot. And when he was out of the lineup for games 1 and 2, I thought it exposed the back end of of Colorado's blue line, because even at full strength, I thought you could play against really the bottom pair, but because they hid some of those guys, but also even Josh Manson on down, I thought you could play against them, and it just thrust those guys into a very difficult spot. Jason Demers is joining us, NHL Network, at Jason Demers with an extra. That's a 5. It's not an extra. It's not an S. It's a 5 on the end of it on Twitter. All right, to this series, that one that we're going into Game 4 tonight. Is it closer than it looks at Carolina 2-1? Could it obviously, we all know with 2 overtime games it could be the other way, or is it closer than it looks? And Carolina has just been that much better. That was a very convoluted way of asking that question, but Carolina really has been so good the last couple of games. How do you view the series?
Yeah, that was the Fibonacci sequence of questions right there. I gotta decipher that and answer it. No, I understand where you're getting at because, Montreal's kind of done this all playoffs long. I think they've exceeded expectations. Jakub Dobeš has been fantastic. Yeah. Elaine Hudson has really broken out this season, and it's so funny to say he's broken out this early in his career. But they've gotten a lot of depth scoring, even though, albeit their top line has struggled for kind of portions of these playoffs. But Carolina's I think they're just primed. They're just ready to go. It's their time. I think Montreal will win a cup in the next 5 years. I think they have a great setup of players, and I think this is a huge learning experience for them. And they keep kind of elevating their bar, but last game looked like you started to see signs of fatigue because they've been playing at such a, 2 Game 7s, very hard-fought series, both series that they played, Buffalo and Tampa. And then they get Carolina that just does not give you a second to breathe. And I just think over a 7-game series, I don't think Montreal has a chance the way they play. They're a very opportunistic hockey team that waits for your mistakes, but Carolina is fine to just go downhill on you and just relentlessly pressure you and until you break, and they're going to out-volume you and get more shots and more chances. And after a while, being opportunistic and kind of counterpunching against the Carolina Hurricanes team, maybe 1 game you can beat them, maybe 2, but over a 7-game series, I think right now it's very difficult. And Freddie Anderson is even though he's getting 12 shots a game, is making big saves because when they do give up a shot, we've looked through the numbers a little bit between Carolina and Montreal, and even though Carolina's tripling their shots, the scoring chances are not that astronomically different. Like they're still getting scoring chances. So Freddie has to be on. He's been great, but I just think last game they broke something in Game 3. You kind of saw it a little bit. That game should have never went to overtime, and if not for Dobeš, who's been a revelation for this Montreal Canadiens team. But I think it starts. I think it's. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes 5, max 6.
Jason Demers is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. NHL Now, 5 o'clock. I'm going to get you on set in just a little bit. I know you have to get there because everybody, they all want you there early. Is Carolina more physical than people give them credit?
Oh, yeah. What I think they've bought into the physicality side. I think their bottom six has been very good. Martinook, Stahl, they're two heavy bodies. And then you got Robinson, you have Carrier, who, that was a penalty on Lane Hudson in the overtime. Yep. He gets him with a elbow in the head that should have been called, but it's not. But he's been very physical. They've done a great job of disrupting and taking a pound of flesh on Lane Hudson every chance they get and slowing him down. And then, their back end is a lot bigger than people think with Nick Keeshan. And Slavin's not necessarily this big, rough and tough guy that's going to run you over, but he leans on you and he makes it hard for you to score offensively. Keandre Miller's been great. He's been physical. So they're a bigger team than years past, and I think they've utilized their speed and the forecheck as a way to be physical. And you're even seeing guys that don't necessarily hit all the time. Taylor Hall has run over about 3-4 people, and he's been that's been their best line all season long. All playoffs long. I consider them. We talk about them at the network. That's the first line is Hall, Stankoven, and Blake, and it's just a matter of time before Svech and those guys heat up.
Yeah, and if to me that's the separator. If the Aho line gets going offensively, then that's the Hurricanes team that can win it all. I think it's going to be tough to even get out of this round of the playoffs. Maybe they do without an offensive contribution from them, but to me that's the difference. Jason Demers, NHL Network at Jason Demers 5 on Twitter. NHL Now, NHL Network starts at 5. I appreciate your time, sir. We'll do it again.
Awesome. Thank you, and good luck tonight.
Yeah, it's important.
Hey, Tom up there.
Yeah, it should be a blast. Thank you so much. Jason Demers, NHL Network. When we come back, you know who it is. It's Wednesday. It's Chip Patterson. I heard something today from Greg Sankey, he's the commissioner of the SEC, and he's not ready to expand the college football playoff just yet, even though everybody else is. And he goes, well, we're not opposed to it. Certainly sounds like you are. But, before we have to do more studies before we talk about 24 or 28. And I just went, wait, 28? How many? We'll talk to Chip Patterson about that next.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's Hockey Night in Carolina Playoff Edition. It's Game 4, Montreal.
They score! They score! It's Taylor Hall on the doorstep.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7. Puck drop at 8.
They score! They score! Andrei Svechnikov wins it in overtime! And the Hurricanes have silenced the Bell Center.
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
Here I am.
Okay, so hear me out. With it being Motorcycle Awareness Month and the season for rainy days, this is the perfect time to keep in mind some really important things. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here from 99.9 The Fan for Law Tigers, and when you've been riding long enough, you know you're going to get caught in the rain when you're just trying to grab some motorcycle therapy. And it may seem obvious to think about wearing reflective gear, avoiding puddles, making sure that your lights are always on regardless of what time of day it is, but accidents tend to multiply for everyone when the weather conditions aren't so clear. So if you get into a wreck on your motorcycle that wasn't your fault, remember to always call Law Tigers first before calling your insurance company. At Law Tigers, they're riders too, and they know what it's like to go through an accident. Case evaluations are always free, and you're not going to pay a dime until your case is settled. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to to Doug and Limu. Well, now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Hey, it's Amanda here, back again with Coach Pete. Coach, every time I turn on the TV, it's just like doomsday and I'm scared to invest and all this. What should we do? How should we avoid all this mess?
You know why they do that?
Uh-huh.
Because you keep watching.
Oh,
If it bleeds, it leads. They used to say in the news business. They never show good news. So the good news for you is that there's ways around the bad things, but you need to isolate yourself from all the minutia and all the talk that's out there. So put a plan together. Make sure that plan is bulletproof, and then don't worry what they say on the news because your plan's not tied to the news anymore. So we need to get our plan away from the bad news, and we do that. We put together income plans that only give you the upside potential of the market, never the downside, and they give you a lifetime income. Amanda, our clients love this. A lifetime income they can never outlive, and their spouse never outlives. If you want your own income plan, folks, that'll put you in control of retirement, call right now.
that's all good news, Coach. 919-794-7900. 919-794-7900. Or text Amanda to 600-700.
Amanda Daughtry is a paid spokesperson. Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
Giving your child their first phone is an important and often difficult decision. After all, it is a milestone in your child's development. The Phone Ready quiz from the American Academy of Pediatrics can help make this decision easier. Go to healthychildren.org/phone ready quiz to take a short questionnaire that'll help you decide if you and your child are ready, almost ready, or not yet ready for their first phone. Go to healthychildren.org/phone ready quiz today.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Got any markdowns on oil?
We've got many markdowns on oil.
How about on that new STP Any Mileage?
You'll save $5 when you buy 5 quarts of STP Any Mileage with an oil filter and get up to 5,000 miles of protection.
Heck of a markdown for quite a lot of miles.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is Adam Gold.
That's Frederick Anderson joking, believe it or not. Like, it's not great comedic timing.
Right.
But that is
It's
Anderson
there.
joking. You can tell. He's like, I'm not going to play your little games, but I know what you're doing.
Like when he was getting his award last season and he was on the ice and it just looked like he was walking through the park.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria on the ones and twos. This song probably has more urban legends about it than anything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's an amazing song.
Great. I love backstories from songs.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea if any of them are true, and most of them are not.
No, but it's fun to pretend.
Absolutely. He invited the person he saw let somebody drown or something, whatever. This song I would describe as haunting, though, right?
It does have a vibe. It's a for sure vibe.
Absolutely. There's an intensity to it. And we need it tonight because I know that my friend Chip Patterson is a Carolina Hurricanes supporter. We need scarves. We need Hurricane scarves.
We've got sweaters. We're good on the winter wear. You know, like
we need a scarf.
Yeah, sweaters. To each his own on that one. Interesting in the air tonight. I do think that you mentioned haunting.
Yeah,
I like it as the intimidating, hype up the home crowd. Basketball or football played at a, third to fourth quarter break, right? Something to get everybody back in, maybe similar to the way that Wisconsin uses jump around between the third and fourth quarter. And I think
Carolina opened their, that was their intro to their basketball games. Jump around, right?
The jump around was right before tip off.
Yeah.
Right. So I think Butch Davis's second team in 2008 had that as part of the in-stadium program. And that was a fun team, a team that sort of was the initial dreams of what Butch Davis at Chapel Hill could be before all the stuff that came to follow in the coming years.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that in a second. But Sports fan to sports fan here. Canes fan to Canes fan. How big is tonight?
Huge. Absolutely huge. You can break. It's just I love thinking about a series like a heavyweight fight, and there you've got your opponent stumbling, and you have a chance to just throw a knockout punch. Absolutely. And I love that Mike Maniscalco mentioned it on his game-winning call, because that was my thought at home with listening to the game was, oh my gosh, that place is silent. That was stark. And to be able to do that again would be absolutely just cutting your opponent in the best way. So yeah, tonight's huge.
Yeah, I think if Carolina wins tonight, I think we're done Friday. But I think if they lose tonight, then I think who
knows?
I think it's Game 7. I think we're going to have a Game 7 on Tuesday. Now, could Carolina win in Game 6? Every other time they played Montreal, they've ended the series in Montreal in 6 games. But none of that matters. That's just stuff that has happened.
Well, they've closed out 2 series already on the road. I've got no worries about the Hurricanes.
Oh.
As a Hurricanes fan, I've got no worries about whether their game travels or whether, it takes an already great product and elevates it a little with the home environment. But I don't think the home road splits are different in terms of quality.
No, I think Carolina's their game, like a team with a great running game and a great defense, that you can play that anywhere. Yeah,
they either play their game or they don't. When they don't play their game, and sure, they can be beat. But man, tonight, if they could just bring it and be on them from the beginning, be pretty awesome.
No hope. Don't give them hope. So you mentioned Butch Davis, Chip Patterson here every Wednesday. The more and more I think about what went down in 2010, first of all, the entire thing is started because I'm trying to remember the player's name, tweeted out rap lyrics.
Marvin Austin.
Marvin Austin. It wasn't even like this is what we were doing. It was rap lyrics. That was the only reason why that entire scandal unfolded. But in retrospect, they just decided to make Davis the scapegoat. And I'm not saying bad things weren't happening. There were. But they just decided to make him the scapegoat because they wanted to, in some ways, preserve this holier-than-thou pristine Carolina way, which I think we all kind of figured out was kind of a fraud. So rather than just be like every other school that, we had some things going on here, they should have kept Butch, I think.
Jerry Tarkanian's quote was about what small school? Do you remember?
Cleveland State.
Cleveland State. Okay, that's it. It's like, they're going to investigate Kentucky and punish Cleveland State.
Right.
That's not true. The reality of it is that these things go down at places that are not used to playing the game.
Right.
That's why it doesn't matter what the terms of the game are at high levels of college football. Whatever games need to be played to be able to be on the front lines of success, they have changed over the decades, but it's been the same players at the table playing that high stakes game. And the fact is, North Carolina just had not played that high stakes game. They had reached high places in the rankings under Mac Brown, but that was a recruited, developed, well-coached team.
Oh my gosh, so many NFL players in that era.
Incredible collection of talent locally, and to be able to hold on to it, that is the great, achievement of that era, in my opinion. But, North Carolina hadn't played the game, and so, like a lot of schools, it ain't Cleveland State, it's the mid-tier schools that try to play at the high-stakes table, and then because they're not used to doing it, one thing leads to another, and things get a little bit messy.
I mean, in the SEC, they just whatever, deny, sue, what,
Well, and the other fun thing about the SEC, to mention the SEC in this, is the way that I understand it. It was Mike Slive, RIP, who came out to all them and said, "Stop telling on each other."
Right.
Because forever there was always one SEC school under probation, or dealing with an NCAA investigation or sanctions. I mean, it was just one by one. They would all end up dealing with some kind of NCAA issues. And so Mike Slive said, stop telling on each other. And they actually, like, that was their honor code. And so when they stop telling on each other, they start winning national championships and no one ever gets investigated. It's great.
Far cry from when Bruce Pearl was an assistant at Iowa. Who was he? Was he telling on, was it Illinois? He was
Illinois.
Ratting out Illinois. Ratting out Lou Henson in Illinois. Funny story about that is that I'm trying to remember why. We were in Cincinnati and we were on some kind of this is back in 1988. I guess when this scandal was about unfolding. And we were on some media junket, just like a media tour, dinner, whatever, and we were on a train. And I don't know why me and my broadcast partner, Chick Hernandez, who you may know, longtime broadcast, TV broadcast guy in
DC
Washington.
area.
Yeah. I mean, it comes on this show a lot. One of my best friends. We're sitting there across from Lou Henson and his wife, and he is ripping Bruce Pearl. Just rip. It was hysterical. Anyway, let me move on from that
They
story.
played in the Elite Eight, by the way.
Yeah.
I was there in
I
Houston.
saw Illinois in 89. I saw Illinois in that round in 88.
Right, but I was saying when they were playing this year in Houston against each other in the Elite Eight, talking to fans, alumni, like family members of the players, like the Bruce Pearl thing still lives on.
Yeah,
you know, like they were talking about exercising some demons. The people close to that program were wondering what it was going to be like having to go back in studio for the post-game show for Bruce Pearl to talk about Illinois beating Iowa in the Elite Eight and punching a ticket to the Final Four.
That would be
that story is pretty awesome. One for you can do your own research on that if you're not familiar.
All right. Let's get to a couple of things. No more Cupcake Weekend. Mike Slive. Sorry about that. Greg Sankey. They've decided in the SEC schedule that they will no longer allow. We'll just say Alabama to play. Alabama A&M or whoever they would play in that week. Georgia can't play Samford or whoever they would play in the week before their rivalry game. Does that really matter? Does it really matter when you put
this is one I've got a real thought on this because I think it's something that gets support from the coaches. And the second that, admin types find themselves aligned with the coach, they're ready to go to war for it because they feel like they've got the muscle on their side. The coaches, I could see talk about the competitive imbalance of the teams that played the cupcake because not every team played a cupcake. Go back and look at the SEC schedule since they got added, Texas and Oklahoma. That next to last week has had a premier game with conference championship conference title contenders playing against each other, a game of significance. Then each one of those teams would then have to go play their rival the very next week. The competitive imbalance of one of those teams played a cupcake, the other one had to play another top 4 team in the league. I could see the coaches pushing back to say, hey, we got to get rid of this cupcake game. We've just added a 9th conference game. Everybody needs to be, getting the same amount of work done in November.
Well, true, but I mean, those games aren't going away though, so they're just going to be somewhere else in the
that's
schedule.
What I'm saying. I could see that being a situation where, from an administrative standpoint, you would just rather be able to fill November with premier games, like from a ticket sales, from a television ratings. I mean, it's going to be a better product when you've got the momentum of the season and the championship race and the playoff race, all those things going on. Right. To have your momentum slowed by a game against an FCS opponent, South Carolina State, right there in the next to last week. I understand from an administrative perspective. I'm saying within the room of coaches, I could imagine that idea comes up and Brent Venables says, why do I have to play against Alabama while, Auburn is playing against Samford? That's right. I could see that being something that from the coaches, ends up getting more agreed to in terms of making sure everybody is playing conference games at the end of the season.
My only counter to that is that the coaches could have done that now. they could have already been doing that, right?
They just haven't been as concerned about it.
Right.
No one's asked them.
And to me, this is ESPN saying, we don't want like, no offense to Vanderbilt, right? I'm just looking at the schedule right now. We don't want Vanderbilt, Florida being our high-profile game, although actually there are some other good games that week. Texas A&M, Oklahoma shouldn't be a bad game, right? That should be a good one.
Oklahoma seems like they've gotten jammed into this spot. That's
Right.
what it is. I've got like 4 years of instant reactions in my head right now, Adam. And I've been thinking about Cupcake Week.
Right.
When I'm like, oh my gosh, what are we going to talk about tonight at 11:30 p.m. Eastern time?
Totally.
And Oklahoma has saved my tail. That's what it is. It is all the time that
Right.
I've spent thinking about how Oklahoma and Brent Venables have been out here playing a game of significance in a day where the rest of the conference is playing a team from the Division I FCS.
How many of these schools, though, are going to try to schedule their bye week for that?
I don't think schools are controlling bye weeks right now.
Okay. Is that TV?
Yeah, I think schools agree to the contracts for their non-conference.
Okay.
With a loose, like it could
Sure.
go a couple
Okay.
different spots on the calendar, and then conferences control the bye weeks.
Yeah, because, by the way, this year, Alabama and Auburn will prepare for the Iron Bowl. Alabama against Chattanooga, Auburn against Samford, which is, I randomly brought them up before out of nowhere. But in the future,
It's a good FCS opponent to Auburn. You can usually pair these up over time.
yeah, it's not the same one all the
Not
time.
the same one. It's just a
Right.
vibe.
And usually, like, everybody plays Louisiana Monroe. Right in the SEC, basically play.
I like how
an SEC schedule.
Clemson. I like how Clemson really rotates between the Citadel and Wofford. It just kind of bounces
Right.
between those two back and forth.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question about Clemson in a group in a minute, but I am curious your thoughts because I saw somebody say this, and you and I have talked about it before. We were all told that with expanded playoffs, that there would be more opportunity to play really good non-conference games. And repeatedly now we have seen these non-conference schedule arrangements pulled back. I think it was Georgia, Florida State canceled a home and home. I think North Carolina just canceled, what was it, South Carolina maybe, canceled a home and home. And I've always said that until there is a mechanism that rewards non-conference schedules being more difficult, they can say all they want. You're going to have to prove it to me. I think we'll go the other way. And I still believe that we will go the other way because I think the number one thing that matters is your win-loss record. Nobody cares who you played. But here's the thing that I keep coming back to because I saw somebody say it and I couldn't agree with it anymore. Of any sport, this includes the one I cover exclusively, hockey, there is nothing like a college football home game, a big game, a rivalry game, and more we are starting to see, and we're going to see it more because there's money involved, where we're going to have neutral site games between big, like, let's randomly, Southern Cal and Georgia. They'll play, not that they're going to, because Southern Cal is going to play Notre Dame, but Southern Cal and Georgia play a game, and they're going to play it in Dallas rather than play it in Athens or play it in Los Angeles. We're going to see that more. We see it in college basketball over and over and over again. I mean, college football played without the atmosphere is poor NFL football.
I think they're bowl games. Like back when bowl games had significance, we basically like, how is the bowl season going to survive in an expanded playoff era? The bowl games are going to be moved to the regular season. We'll just call them regular season games. You guys just won't realize it because the same entities that, have always sort of controlled bowl games have also pivoted to these neutral site kickoff classics.
Yep.
Now we're not even doing kickoff classics at the first week of the year. You could be a kickoff classic in week 2, right? We just have built out this whole system, and similar to signing up for all the different midseason basketball tournaments, I will say cynically, but honestly, we said everything's going to be for sale, and the schedule is for sale.
Oh, sure.
And that's sort of what there is revenue to be driven from the neutral site games. That's why they are happening, and they're happening because everything is for sale.
Right, and it also takes a game away. So for 1 year, we might see a Georgia-Florida State matchup. And frankly, that game might be played in Munich for all we know. We're playing a game in Brazil. I cannot believe that Brazil was dying for NC State, Virginia, but apparently they are.
Which is a extremely funny matchup to send to Brazil.
That's why I brought that up.
If Brazil is going to judge American college football in 2026, and also not just the sort of caliber opponents, which we would say is what, like top 40? They were top 40 teams in the country.
Okay, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good game. It's not a terrible game. It's a good game.
It's a good game between two top 40 teams, but you drop those two teams in Brazil after seeing how haywire and crazy the game was in America.
Sure.
I mean, do you remember that NC State UVA game last year?
It's a good point.
That was nuts. These two are going to play a bonkers football game. It will defy the imagination. And that is what we are sending as our best and brightest for American college football in 2026. Is it actually the most perfect way to highlight college football?
You just sold me on the game.
Okay.
Because I think things can get pretty crazy in Brazil.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be you have just talked me into that this is the perfect game to be sending to Brazil. Carolina and TCU in Dublin. Again, I mean, we're playing games everywhere but in home stadiums now. But you said something about scheduling your bowl games. Terry Holland, the late Terry Holland, when he was the AD at East Carolina. And if you looked and you go back in that era and you see all the non-conference games they played stacked in the beginning of their season, and they would play at South Carolina, at West Virginia, at Virginia Tech. And he said, because we're struggling right now, we are scheduling our bowl games. So we know that when Virginia Tech or West Virginia show up at Dowdy-Ficklen, because those were home and homes, that they will bring we will pack our stadium. We'll get our fans energized. They will bring fans. So they effectively, and he told me this verbatim, we are effectively scheduling our bowl games, which in some respects does make a lot of sense. One other thing that Greg Sankey said, because they're in no rush to expand the SEC, to agree to expand to 24 teams. And it's going to stay at 12. My guess is that it'll stay at 12 next year, too. They will not meet ESPN's deadline to get to at least 16 first and then go to 24. But he goes, we just need more time to study 24 or 28. And I went, wait, 28? What number do you think we end at?
I don't know. I think that we are either at 12 or 24. I don't think 12 is a good number, but I would rather.
Why is 24 a good number and not 12?
Because it's the basic principle of, are you a top 25 team or not? And,
Okay.
in every top 25 view of the world, we've always known 21 through 25 are interchangeable. And those teams will
16 through 30 are probably interchangeable.
Right. Everyone's got their spot, but if you are going to have that, then it's the same way that a college football fan approaches, are you a top 25 team or not?
Mm-hmm.
And sure, so like some programs expect to be in the top 5, and it's a little bit different, but that sort of haves and have-nots, playoff or not playoff, being at 24 teams just sort of changes the language of the way that we analyze these groups. That one makes sense. I don't think 12 is a great number, but I would rather not have the rush to expand sort of energy around the sport right now. We got a million things that are currently stressing the system.
Yes.
And I think the number of postseason games, I think it must provide great revenue. I haven't seen the numbers myself, Adam, but that could be the only thing to explain this rush to expand.
Yeah, and again, I don't even understand the Big 12 and the ACC's rush to do that, but more power to them. Again, they must see different numbers than I. I mean, I don't see numbers. I'm just looking at it from who do I think is good enough, and frankly, I think the ACC and maybe the Big 12 as well will essentially have themselves embarrassed.
Steve Sarkisian got into that. He said, we've got a playoff or bust sort of mindset.
Right.
But how many spots are we, and he's talking about Texas, really competing for? It's a 12-team playoff, but the G5 gets one, Notre Dame gets one, a couple other AQs for other conference champions. Now, all of a sudden, you're talking about us really only competing for a handful of spots.
What's he talking about? They're going to get 8 teams in almost every year.
I think that that's not a good line for have and have not, because of just sort of the way of like top 25 or not top 25 is a way that we've talked about college football for a very long time. So that's where the 24 I can get around on. It'll just change the way we talk about the sport.
Yeah, and what it will do is it will take mid-majors who have good records and it will drop them out. So we won't see, Army's 10-1, but Army hasn't beaten anybody, and we'll see Army drop out. It will just give them less respect because the people who are controlling the college football playoff ranking will say, well, they don't belong in the playoff. I just think we're going to see less and less of those. We'll see more and more of bad schedules. Final thing, as I said, I was going to ask you about Clemson. You and I have talked enough about who we all believe will be good in the ACC. Miami, Louisville, SMU, probably the 3 best teams, right?
Miami, yes. Yes.
Of Clemson, of Florida State, of Virginia Tech, the traditional football programs in this league. I mean, I'm not going to throw Pitt in there. They have been, but they've been good. Of those 3, look into your crystal ball and tell me, maybe not this year, but next year, who is more likely to become a legitimate player again in this league?
Okay. Virginia Tech would be my long run, but I just don't think that they're quite there right away. I think they will be good. I think they'll have a solid building block type season, and that's
a good investment. Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Okay.
James Franklin was year 2, year 3 before he really popped. I think we could see an encouraging signs Virginia Tech. I think Clemson has the fastest path back because of all these programs we're talking about. Clemson's floor was still playing in the Pinstripe Bowl against Penn State.
Right.
I mean, that's the first time they haven't finished inside the talk about a top 25 mindset. We've been calling Clemson a total failure. Just last season was the first time not finishing inside the top 25 since 2010.
Yeah.
It went 14 years of finishing in the top 25 every single season. Now, we were critical because it was no longer top 10 or no longer top 5, or that they started the year with these top 5 expectations and then they wouldn't live up to them with a couple of losses. But Clemson's way, way closer to that being back there. And this is what I'll grant for this season too. There might be it's a vibes-based program, right?
Okay.
There might be a just sort of flushing of the system of so many of the players and also, some coaching changes from a team that started in the year top 4 and just finished the year with 7 wins. That Cade Klubnik leaves Clemson as an ACC champion, but Cade Klubnik postseason to preseason, we started every year with an idea that he was about to be here, right? And so we're going to a new quarterback. Right?
Gotcha.
Might not even have as much raw talent, but just new headspace, clear headspace. Guys like a TJ Parker, guys like a Peter Woods, guys who were just NFL draft picks. But at the same time, man, was that defense awesome? They were okay.
No.
Let's flush the system.
Yeah.
There might be a big woo-saw. Oh, also Chad Morris is back. I don't know if you heard about that. Chad Morris. I mean, so getting the band back together.
Can Brent Venables come back from Oklahoma?
As I could see of all the teams you just mentioned, teams with ACC championships in the recent championship game era, Clemson's the one that's the closest to being back. And so I think it's because
is Florida State hopeless?
Florida State's floor is unbelievable. I mean, what we have seen in terms of how quickly they can go from the top to the bottom, not only year over year, but even within the same season. We went from them inside the top 10, riding high off the win against Alabama and a couple of non-conference romps. and then 1 month later, we were firing Mike Norvell.
Yeah.
We were sure that we were going to fire Mike Norvell. I mean, that up and down with so much volatility, God, it's tough. That's really, really tough. I would not touch Florida State with any kind of investment. I hope, for the sake of my friends and their headspace, that they at least find some direction. Because the build with Mike Norvell was fun. Remember the 10-win season?
Yeah.
Before the 13-win season?
Yep.
Like, holy cow, Florida State looks functional. This is, pretty exciting now.
It was fun. So, to summarize,
we need to at least get back to that.
To summarize, Virginia Tech, college fund idea. Clemson, high risk, but maybe
we're cashing this year.
Right, a quick hit, maybe make some instant cash. Florida State is an absolute get rid of it. Get rid of all your Florida State stock. Chip Patterson, you're the best, man. Positive vibes for tonight, and I'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Y'all be well.
Awesome. Chip Patterson here on the Adam Gold Show. When we come back, we'll stretch. We will place bets. Coming up at 2:15, my friend Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News will join us. What happened yesterday? We're going to talk a little SEC football with him as well, just like we did with Chip. But maybe from a broad PR standpoint, but also the men's national soccer team. We know who's on it. Are we confident that they're even going to get... They'll win. They'll get out of the group, right? Right? We'll talk to Mike DeCourcy about that and more. But when we come back, we'll stretch and then place bets next.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Where do you go for better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long? Yeah, the answer is FanDuel, and I didn't even make you phrase it in the form of a question. With more ways to build, more value every time you play, you can stack picks like you stack cash for every game, every matchup, every moment. Whatever you want to do with FanDuel, this is the place to go for better payouts all NBA playoffs long. How long will it take for the Knicks to nick, whatever that means? Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's bad. Last several years, it's been bad. Maybe it'll be good this time. Head to FanDuel.com/local, FanDuel.com/local. NBA playoffs, official partner of the NBA is FanDuel. Play your game. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Turning 65 soon? Navigating Medicare can be overwhelming and confusing, but you're not alone. The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program can help. SHIP counselors can help you understand Medicare benefits to make your best choices. Visit ncship.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available. If you feel lonely, isolated, anxious, or overwhelmed, help is here all day and night. Call, text, or chat 988 without cost, without judgment, and without waiting for an appointment. You'll get support that can make a difference. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
Have you ever considered a career as a public power line worker? Line workers in public power communities keep the electricity flowing to families and businesses. As a public power line worker, you're part of a team that builds and maintains a locally owned and operated electric system. You can work close to home, grow your career, and support your local community by providing safe, reliable, and sustainable electricity. Learn more about public power and careers in public power at electricities.com.
If you want the nation's best auto insurer, look no further than North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Rated #1 in Crash Network's Insurer Report Card 7 years in a row, we're the only insurer in the nation to receive an A+ rating from auto body shops. Our philosophy is simple. Be fair, be quick, be the best. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Everybody wins when you buckle up for safety. This spring, be in the game to win the game, on and off the field, on the way to the game and all the way home. Fasten your seatbelt. Every seat, every time. It's the safety gear you need to prevent serious injury or death in a vehicle crash. Your coaches, teammates, and family members are counting on you to make the winning drive with one ultimate goal: safety. Go to clickitorticket.org to learn more. It's not just about the law, it's about saving lives. A message from the Governor's Highway Safety Program and the NCAA.
Carolina Complete Health. From neighborhoods in Charlotte to families in Greensboro, Raleigh, and Durham, all the way to Asheville and Wilmington, and everything in between. We are here for communities across North Carolina, connecting you to the care and support you need. We are here to make healthcare easier to access and understand. We are here to bridge the gap, because your health matters. Your community matters. You matter. We are here for your health. Visit hereforyourhealthnc.com.
This is Adam Gold.
From William, what does Jarvie need to do to get going?
Candy, like sour worms.
Oh, for sure. He's probably one of those psychos that likes warheads.
Yeah, nerds. He would eat those. Yeah, get a whole bag of those, Seth. Go nuts.
Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Yesterday, I ran too long in the previous segment, so we never did get Victoria's big, fun story as we stretch. So before we wager, let's do the big, fun story.
Okay, so this is fantastic. This needs to happen ASAP, but we'll see if it actually does. There's a new invention that is potentially happening. So there's a startup in China that just launched, and its whole premise is that it's going to try to translate animals' emotions into human speech so we can maybe have the secret life of pets in real life.
So wait a second. So the conversations that I have at home.
Yes, with Earl.
Or
Harriet.
Or have Earl talk to Harriet.
Yes.
Which, if you're a pet owner, we all do that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't judge me.
Don't lie.
We
People
all do it.
Yeah.
Earl has a certain voice.
Yes.
Harriet has a certain voice.
Yep.
Harriet speaks really with a British accent.
Oh, that makes sense.
And curses like a sailor.
Oh, does she?
Oh, she's
while she sips
filthy
on tea.
mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Those corgis. Corgis are on my list though right now because did you see the corgi that likes to predict the game winners? Yeah.
Did you see what the corgi did for this series?
Yes, I did. Yep. That's why corgis. You're going to have to wait till the series is over.
We need the Hurricanes to win tonight.
Exactly. So anyway, this gadget, it hangs on your pet's collar, and it uses AI to study things like vocal patterns, behavior, and body language to figure out what your pet is trying to say. And they say they think it's going to be about a 95% accuracy, so that's pretty high.
I have to get one of those.
Me too.
I hope that's not too expensive.
Me too.
Because
Well,
I'm getting one of those.
They're saying that this translator will cost around $118, which honestly, totally worth it.
Oh my gosh, I'd get two.
I would totally get
I would gift one.
Yes, 100%. So, $118. But the only problem is there's already more than 10,000 people who have already pre-ordered them. They haven't made them yet. So I guess it's like a Kickstarter type thing. But the company, they haven't released any scientific studies proving that this device actually works before we get real excited. But honestly, the fact that they're even trying to do something like this, why can we not do that? I mean, vacuums can work by themselves. Why can't we have something that understands our pets more?
Yeah, exactly.
We need this in our life. So, yes, I would love to know what Biff is saying. Speaking of sassy ones, Kitty Carol, my rescue cat, she does not like Biff. So that conversation, she would have some sass to say, too. And I need to know. I could translate, I'm sure. But, yeah, that would be, for $118, I would do it. So maybe we can make $118 with our great bets.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Do you? I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal in Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
All right, let's have at it.
Okay, well, tonight, why not? I'm just going to stick with an anytime goal scorer to be Ehlers. He's plus 240, so why not? Roll the dice.
By the way, I did get the Vegas and the under 6.5 right yesterday,
yeah.
plus 222.
It was definitely under for the majority of
the
game.
And the Spurs did not win. So, all right, I'm going to give you a first goal scorer tonight.
Oh, nice.
Jackson Blake is plus 1,700.
Yeah. Whoa, 1,700, and that's a possibility. I mean,
first goal scorer. I mean, the favorite is Cole Caulfield at plus 1,100.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense too. If Dobish could do it on his birthday, he would. But
yes,
but he's not. So let's see. I think there might be some more goals than yesterday. So goal in the first 5 minutes of the first period. Yes, plus 190.
I keep saying this. I want the first period to end 0-0.
Yeah.
I want Montreal to be offensively frustrated.
Yes.
That is my hope. I've said it for the last two games. I think it is more important that Carolina be zeros on the board than even 1-1. I'm not worried about Carolina getting the goal. I'm worried about keeping Montreal angry.
Right.
Canes over 5.5, plus 196.
Okay. Well, this, I don't really want to see it go into OT, but could it? Absolutely. So, why not? Yes, going into OT, plus 280, more hockey. Why not? We'll see.
All right, we got that. All right, let me, I had the Mets game up, and then the Mets game disappeared.
Oh, we don't need to do baseball.
Wait a second. No. Yeah. Can the Mets and Cubs play? Mets and the Reds in New York. Somehow, the Mets are favored. Why? The Reds. It's only plus 102. You can bet the college fund on that. Gosh, the Mets are terrible. Terrible.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Got to check in every day with FanDuel because every day during the NBA playoffs, FanDuel serving up a happy hour, special drops you won't want to miss, profit boost, bonus bets, even more. And I will say, even though there's no game tonight, there's one tomorrow. And frankly, the Oklahoma City Thunder could put an end to the Western Conference Finals. So check in for a new reward every single day of the NBA playoffs. Do not miss your shot to get a little something extra out of the action. Go to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel.com/local. Every day, NBA playoffs on FanDuel. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and maximum wager amount. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's Hockey Night in Carolina Playoff Edition. It's Game 4. Montreal.
They score! They score! It's Taylor Hall on the doorstep.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7. Puck drop at 8.
They score! They score! Andrei Svechnikov wins it in overtime! And the Hurricanes have silenced the Bell Center.
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar. The better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. So good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Stop by Handy Hugo's for great deals on your favorite Pepsi products. Head to Handy Hugo's today.
It's bow time. We know there's a lot of breakfast sandwiches out there, but only Bojangles has the legendary Cajun Filet Biscuit. Shake things up with a boldly seasoned chicken breast on a fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit with bow rounds and your choice of drink. So when you're craving something bold, something different, something that takes breakfast to a whole new level, the Cajun Filet Biscuit is waiting for you, along with crispy bow rounds and a drink. Order in the app or at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your craving for Cajun with a Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuits are served all day, every day. And with that biscuit, why not add Bo's Iced Coffee? That's right, Bo's Iced Coffee with sweet cream. Choose caramel or French vanilla. Bo's new Iced Coffee, a great way to sweeten your day. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Time to be Bold is helping people 55 and older like you with low vision regain your independence. Go to timetobebold.org for a list of services in your state that will give you the tools and support you need to live your bold best life. Go to timetobebold.org today.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Montreal's got to get better. To me, they weren't connected long enough in that game. They're getting the timely saves. They need the timely goals now. And I think that obviously that one coming back, Carolina pushed. And they're big players. You got to give them credit. Svechnikov and Aho. Everyone was talking about it before the game. Are we going to see these guys? Are they going to show up? They have to show up to make a difference. And it was the difference in this game. So Montreal's back on you. You're still on home ice. You have an opportunity to tie this thing up going into Carolina. They need to get better towards the end of these games. Some of that's experience.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold, Victoria producing the program. Mike DeCourcy of Sporting News in about 15 minutes. That was P.K. Subban from ESPN. And I actually don't disagree with what P.K. had to say there. Look, we're jaded. Every time he says something, we're going to look at it like he's just hating on Carolina. And yes, he is looking at it from a Montreal perspective. And I could already tell you if Carolina is fortunate enough to advance, and they are only halfway, so no cart before horse. He will pick Vegas to win the Stanley Cup Final. Just know it. So Don't get mad if he does.
No.
And don't get mad if anybody else picks Vegas. I believe right now, and I was having a conversation with somebody about this, even if Carolina wins this series in 5, I believe right now Vegas, even though I don't think they will be, I think they should be the favorites to win it all.
They're tough.
They're really, really good.
Very good.
So, I think they are beatable, but I think they are really, really good.
Very.
Look, you're not going to sweep the Colorado Avalanche without being really, really good. And a little bit about them will come up in the Wall of Sound. Also, this is because we are nothing if not expansive on this program. We have the goal from Game 3 in Spanish.
So good.
My friend Jay sent me this.
Yeah.
Jay and I. Jay is one of the people. I mentioned Jay. Mike DeCourcy is the other. Mm-hmm. Who are the most responsible for me being really interested in, Premier League soccer.
Yeah.
These are the two people the most influential in that. My son is also in that group, but he never presented it to me. You should do this.
Yeah.
Once I got on it, And then he calls me a fake fan, plastic fan all the time because I'm new to it. He gives me a hard time, but they don't. I do get talked down to at times, but that's fine. It's fine.
It does sound like a soccer game, though, this call, because I don't really know Spanish that
Thank
well.
you.
So
Thank you.
You could have told me that this was a soccer game.
It's going to lead us off in the Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
This is great. All right, I don't know who this broadcaster is. I apologize to the broadcaster. But the NHL is doing both of these series in Spanish, and I'm sure in a few other languages as well. And here is the goal in Spanish.
Llegando los últimos 6 minutos.
Qué
Termina
error.
perdiendo. El pase fue malo. Se le va demasiado largo en todo caso.
Eso no puede
Cuando
pasar.
recuperaba el disco Andrés Svechnikov. El disparo, gol. ¡Gol! Ganó Carolina, gol. ¡Gol! De los huracanes de Carolina. La posibilidad se dio y llegó el 3-2 Svechnikov con el bastonazo.
Awesome.
Carolina, I knew that one.
Huracanes. Amazing. Amazing in Spanish. I think everything sounds better in Spanish. I'm just not kidding.
Yeah.
Everything sounds better in Spanish.
It is a love language.
Yeah, well, that is true. Romance language. And I heard this. I was watching Martin St. Louis yesterday, and they asked the first part of the press conference is in French.
Mm-hmm. Also a romance.
Oh, absolutely. And it made me feel some type of way. But I found out that there is no French word for forecheck.
Oh.
None.
Wow. See, I love when that happens because then you hear them
Yeah.
speak French and then you just hear forecheck.
Forecheck. It was awesome. I encourage anybody go watch Martez. It's on YouTube. The NHL puts the post-game podium stuff available for anybody to watch. Right on YouTube. It's outstanding. All right, that was just such a great play-by-play call. All right, ESPN's Kevin Weeks on the Golden Knights and their 4-0 sweep.
That's a balanced team. The Vegas Golden Knights can give it to you any way you want it. You want it physical in the trenches? They got it. Lockdown team defense, league leaders in points, goals, assists, and Carter Hart's been dirty in the net. So you put all that together, that's some nice alchemy for them right now.
John Tortorella, as we mentioned, takes over on March 30th, and now they're in the Cup final. How did this happen?
I played for Torts. You know what Torts says to his team? Fellas, safe as death. We just can't sit back. Give Bruce Cassidy credit for installing their defensive scheme. Yes, but now under Torts, they have the balance between team defense, offense, and belief. They don't play games. They dictate them. They're dictating the terms of the games right now. It's impressive.
They're awesome.
I know.
Absolutely awesome.
And I didn't even realize this. Tortorella was watching his grandkids when he got the call.
Yeah.
And I just thought, and then hearing him talk yesterday, he just seems A, very nice, and B, such a grandpa. In the best way. Like, he just seems so nice.
John Tortorella is, I think, probably one of those small doses guys.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason he's coached for a whole bunch of teams.
A lot.
Right? That's not to say that he's not a great coach, because he clearly is. But there's a reason why he's got a shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
He had a shelf life in New York. He had a shelf life in Columbus. He had a shelf life in Tampa. Was in Vancouver too. He's been everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We're done.
And now he's here.
But he is a
For a minute.
great coach.
Yes.
All right. Let's get to Seth Jarvis here. It had been a minute since Carolina's top line had been a factor on the score sheet. And it came in overtime. Aho in front. Jarvis pass across to Andrei Svechnikov. Here's Seth.
Yeah, I think the last few games we've been all around it. I think we've been creating chances. Obviously, you'd love to see more go in, but to get one like that in a moment like that was huge for everybody. And just to start help contributing to the team offensively is what we want to do. And keeping it simple seemed to pay off.
Yes, simple would be Andrei Svechnikov being, it seemed, the target of a pass by Lane Hudson. That's a terrible turnover. And then just skating it in deep and starting from behind the net. I mean, the intent was not to get deep, but he didn't try to do something that wasn't there. He just kept possession of the puck. Ultimately, Jarvis gets it back to Svechnikov. Aho's in front. And there you go. I mean, net front presence? Go figure. What about all of the shots on goal Carolina's had? All of the advantages, yet Montreal is still sticking around, Seth.
They've done a great job at selling out and getting in our lanes. I mean, it's the playoffs. You kind of have to expect that, but they do a great job at kind of getting in the way and making it tough for some of our good opportunities to get through. But a lot of it leans on our leadership just to keep steady and keep it pushing. I mean, they're going to block shots. You expect that, but they're not going to block all the shots. And those are the ones we're waiting for is the more pucks you put on net, the better chance one of them's going to get through, and that's when you can kind of capitalize on the opportunity.
At some point, though, and I think that point needs to be tonight, Carolina is going to have to get to the next level of their offense. You are not, I've said this before, you're not winning this series, and you're certainly not winning the next one. Unless there are some games where you are scoring at least 3 in regulation. 11 games in this playoff so far, and the Hurricanes have scored 3 or more in regulation. Forget empty net goals twice. It's not enough. It's not enough. Less than 20% of your games to score 3? That's not the Hurricanes. Regular season different from the playoffs. I get it. But the Canes were the second highest scoring team in the NHL. There has to be more. And the more has to come from Aho, Jarvis, and Svechnikov. Shane Gostisbehere on the back end. Think on not thinking too far ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we got an old group in there, a veteran group, and you know we know the task at hand. I mean, it's cliche, but it's one game at a time. We know there's a lot of hockey left in this series, and just you feel like you're going out there having great games, but it's just enough every night. You can look at the shots, you can look at everything, but the scores, they're tight games. So for us, obviously, no chance we're going to look ahead, and it's always just the next game.
Yep. That's what this team has done really, really well all year. They never think too far ahead, and they can't do it tonight because if you start looking at Game 5 or Game whatever, and you take your eye off the ball in Game 4, that's when Game 5 becomes a problem. Montreal, by the way, has been great on the road. You don't want to give them life tonight, and all of a sudden they come here and they Game 1 you again. So this is maybe I'm being alarmist. If so, sorry. I can make an argument this is the most important game they will play in the series. It is the game where Carolina absolutely must throw out their A game. Montreal is going to be super desperate tonight too. This is not a closeout game. This is the game that avoids that situation for Montreal. You got to put their backs all the way against the wall tonight. All right. When we come back, Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News. We'll talk a little bit about the SEC acting more like the Mountain West Conference. Or, no, actually, the SEC acting more like the ACC. Next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoot, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Can't get enough of the Carolina Hurricanes? Check out my podcast, Iced Tea, hosted by me, Megan LaMontagne, as I take you behind the scenes and get exclusive stories about the team. This season, I've interviewed Seth Jarvis's brother, Caden, who talks about a young Jarvie growing up, longtime PA announcer Wade Minter, who spills the tea on how a mess-up made national news, and legendary color commentator Trip Tracy, just to name a few of the guests. Listen wherever you get your podcasts or watch on YouTube.
May is Motorcycle Awareness Month, which goes for both riders and people in vehicles. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here from 99.9 The Fan for Law Tigers, and as someone who rides, there's definitely things to keep in mind so everyone can stay safe on the road. If you're a rider, something simple like always riding defensively. Do not assume a driver can see you. Now, if you're in a vehicle, please make sure to check your surroundings and never pull out in front of a motorcycle. Now, God forbid anything bad ever happens, but if it does, call Law Tigers first before calling your insurance company. At Law Tigers, they're riders too, and they know the value of your bike and your gear and what the investment means to you. Case evaluations are always free, and you won't pay a dime until your case is settled. So this May, let's enjoy the beautiful weather by putting the rubber to the road and staying safe. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
This is the sound of Jack, buzz cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack, every time he cuts his own hair, that's $50 right in his pocket. If Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy, Wells Fargo is right behind him. And with their mobile app, tracking his savings is easy. Oh, ouch. However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
TST is coming back. The world's biggest 7v7 soccer festival is coming back to Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, May 27th through June 1st. Watch stars like Landon Donovan, Hope Solo, and Chad Ochocinco compete for $3 million. With over 150 matches, the fan festival zone, and nonstop action, there's nothing else like it. Get tickets now for the world's most electrifying soccer festival at tst7v7.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Unlock the savings at Boost Mobile and save up to $600 a year. I've been scouting these big carriers for a minute now, and I've seen them pull the same play 1,000 times. They promise you the world, then hit you with a price hike right when the game gets tight. But Boost Mobile, their $25 a month unlimited wireless plan is the most consistent player on the floor. No contracts, no price hikes. Unlock the savings today at boostmobile.com/unlock. Based on average annual single line payment of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile customers compared to 12 months of the Boost Mobile unlimited wireless plan as of January 2026. For full offer details, visit boostmobile.com.
This is Adam Gold.
540.
Yeah.
Right, the big outer belt loop. Why don't we just call them inner loop and outer loop? Don't give me north, south, east. It changes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a circle.
Yeah, they should. They use it for belly buttons.
Right? Inner and outer.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Use it for belt lines.
All right, I'm done with the rant.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. SEC meetings are in Destin, Florida. I'm not a resort goer, so I don't know how Destin, Florida competes or compares with Amelia Island. Amelia Island, I have to admit, sounds nicer than Destin, Florida. Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News. I don't think he is a resort goer either. Have you
really? Have you just met me?
I don't. All I know is that we hang out at basketball events.
Yes, I love a good resort.
All right. So,
Absolutely.
have you been to Amelia Island or Destin?
I was in Destin. Gosh, it was around 95.
Okay.
Well, 95, I think it was when around the time Conference USA was formed. with Louisville and
Nice.
Cincinnati and a bunch of others. The late great Mike Slive was the commissioner then.
Wow.
That was my only league meetings that I ever went to as a college sports journalist.
We went to some good ones with the ACC. A lot at Pinehurst. We were down in where is that place in Georgia, where a whole bunch of coaches have places. No, I was in Kiowa, South Carolina. That's just outside of Charleston. That was a great one. But we don't do those anymore. We just meet in a hotel ballroom. They don't want to take everybody to resorts anymore. So was Destin nice?
It was fine. It was very nice, very pleasant. It wasn't it wasn't Dana Point, California, but it was very nice.
So it seems to me like Amelia Island is better than Destin. Certainly sounds better. All right, so that's where the SEC is, and they are all business about football. Why do they sound like a conference that is desperately trying to hang on to relevance? Like they've sounded more like the ACC than the SEC, and I'm not trying to blast the ACC, but I get why the ACC would feel like, they're trying to avoid the world passing them by. But every comment I hear out of the SEC sounds like they're afraid they're losing their grip, their control on the sport.
It is amazing that on the one hand, one coach, so I'm not going to say which one because I can't remember now, but one coach yesterday said that they would consider doing their own thing.
Yeah, Kirby Smart.
And I thought it was Kirby, but so not living up to his surname there, doing your own thing and doing what? I mean, I had one person say it would be like, well, that's like the Premier League because it's a small country. Well, first of all, it's a country of like 100-some million people,
right.
So it's not that small. And no, I told that person and never heard from him again. No, it's like it would be like if all the London clubs, Chelsea and Arsenal and Tottenham and West Ham and a few others said, we're going to have our own league. That's
right.
what it would be like. And everybody would say, that's not a real league because you're not playing Liverpool and Manchester United, Manchester City, et cetera. That's not. I mean, so that's what if the SEC decided to do its own thing and strictly just play the SEC or strictly just decide an SEC champion, that's it. They would take their brand from a national brand down to a regional brand. And
right.
I suppose that's plausible, but it's not a growth strategy. It's saying we're okay with being mom and pop on Main Street and we don't want to be Walmart anymore. That's what it's saying, and I don't think that's the goal, but that's what it would be saying.
Well, what's interesting about that is that if it caused other leagues to do that as well, it might actually be good for the whole of the sport because eventually we would get back to the beginning and we would start over because if there is ever a sport, and that's not just football, even though football drives it, but if there is ever an industry that needs a mulligan from the start, it is intercollegiate athletics. From everything, because where we are right now is what putting Band-Aids on problems ultimately leads to is that nothing works properly because Georgia's athletic director basically said we were headed for anarchy. What is he talking about?
Well, see, this is the kind of headline grabbing, and by that I mean they are literally trying to get themselves into headlines and be the person who does the best job of gaining attention
right.
for themselves. And this is not real life. If you can't afford to pay a center $5 million to play for you, and I'm talking about hoops.
Right.
I don't think there's any centers in football making $5.
Not
but
yet.
if you can't afford it, you wouldn't do it.
Right.
It's that simple. You wouldn't do it. You're doing it because you can afford it. Look, we're talking about an industry that not like after, not all that long ago, before all this really began, paid a coach $75 million to go away.
Right, to not coach.
To say, we don't want you to coach. We don't want you to show up and do the broadcast. We don't want
right.
you to phone in on media days. We just want you to go away, and here is $75 million. And now they're trying to claim poverty. That's preposterous.
Yeah, they've been doing that for forever. I think Auburn was paying like 4 coaches at the same time. Heck, LSU might be paying a bunch of coaches right now to not coach. I do want to give Kirby Smart credit for one thing, because I thought this was the smartest thing, pardon the pun. I thought the smartest thing I heard from anybody, any quote out there, was that Smart said that his fear is that football is hurting all of the other sports. And in my opinion, Kirby Smart is right, because every decision that has been made, with very few exceptions, there are exceptions to this, but basically every decision that has been made by the major conference commissioners, which means the presidents, has been about football to the detriment of so many other sports, whether the basketball leagues are just way too big, way too expansive. Forget about just so many teams. The fact that Stanford and Carolina are in the same league is just absolutely preposterous for basketball. But also it's hurt all of those other sports. It's going to take money away from them. More universities are going to cancel, are going to get rid of those programs or change the way they recruit in those programs. It's going to cut off a lot of opportunity for kids in this country to play athletics at major universities because they're trying to funnel all that money to football.
Well, first of all, let me say a couple of things. First of all, they didn't do the expansion for football. They did it for money. That's
but
the reality.
Those two things are sort of the same thing now.
But it's for money.
Yes.
It's not because we're going to make our football competition better.
Oh, right. You're
because
right.
We're going to make more money.
Yes.
And those things, and making more money was all designed to empower all the athletic programs to an extent. I mean, if you don't have more money, it's hard to continue to sustain those. The second thing that I think about is, like, how much am I supposed to be worried about tennis or golf or rifle or whatever? I mean, like, not a lot of people are that engaged in those sports except the athletes themselves. So why should I sit here and really worry about their futures? Like, what is the impact of that on anything that matters to the rest of us? It matters to the athletes in those sports, I suppose, but they also could attend and compete at those levels in a non-scholarship capacity if they wanted. I look at a lot of these sports. I remember during the pandemic when the University of Cincinnati used the pandemic as a sort of an excuse to get rid of men's soccer. And I did a little research on it. And one, they weren't any good at it. They barely ever won anything of consequence. And two, nobody ever went to any of the games. They averaged like 700 people. It was a program that benefited like 25 people. And so I'm not going to get all that worried about that. And I don't think Kirby Smart is either. That's just saying that because they don't like their present circumstance. And their present circumstance is that brand isn't the only thing that sells now. Money is what sells now. So Georgia doesn't have an inherent advantage over Indiana, and Carolina Hoops doesn't have an inherent advantage over Florida. They all are kind of in the same circumstance, and they have to find ways to make what they do succeed in different ways. And honestly, I don't think that the blue blood programs have adjusted quickly enough to the new reality.
Well, that is true, especially in basketball. That's why, I mean, I don't know if this is indicative of why Indiana basketball is where it is, or Kentucky basketball is potentially headed where, it's not been a good start for Mark Pope at Kentucky. They've obviously not done. Like I know too many Kentucky fans that have many questions about the direction of the basketball program. But yeah, I mean, it has leveled the playing field in that it's probably made more teams. I think it's probably widened the playing field for elite basketball, and I think to an extent football too.
Well, goodness, I mean, look at look at Indiana. First of all, Indiana didn't outspend anybody. I mean, they spent.
No.
But they didn't do this by outspending everybody. They did it by being shrewd and effective, and they wind up winning 10 or 11 games in Curt Cignetta's first year with only 2 losses. And then they come up back the next year and they lose no games.
Run the table.
and they did that in an era, like I said, when Alabama and Georgia and Oklahoma and some other big brand name schools are still trying to get it just right in this era. And Kirby Smart doesn't like that. He liked it when he had first choice.
Yep.
And that's what helped him build the power that he had in the earlier part of this decade, the latter part of the last decade. He's not happy. The president of Georgia's not happy. They are in a circumstance where they have to be shrewder than they used to be, and it's not worked out so far. And so they're complaining about the system instead of looking at what the system is and saying, how can we be better in this system? I'm not saying the system is perfect, but I don't think any solutions that I heard come out of the Panhandle yesterday sounded like they would make it better. And I don't think that the legislation that was proposed today by a couple of senators, I don't think that is a real fix either.
I think it's illegal. I think I do. I believe that it is just waiting for a legal challenge, and I think a legal challenge will probably crush whatever that legislation is. Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News. Now to something that I always want to talk to you about, but we don't have time. But we're going to have making time for it today. Men's national soccer team was announced yesterday. And I know there are a lot of people complaining about the body language of Christian Pulisic. I don't care. He'll either play well, hopefully he's healthy, and the United States will do well because he plays well, or he won't. He's in the past, at times, he has not played well, and the U.S. has suffered for it. But I'm curious your thoughts on this, and we'll get into the roster in a second. Diego Luna, who plays in MLS and is an incredibly exciting player that everybody loves to watch play. In fact, the U.S. used him more, I believe, during last summer in the build-up to this than they used any other player. He was featured in marketing. They even had him in a commercial, I believe, winning the World Cup. Was not selected. And so we can talk about the fact that he wasn't chosen, but is it a big deal that Mauricio Pochettino just sent an email out to everybody who missed the team? That seems kind of cold to me.
Yeah, I don't think that that's really that unusual. Pochettino was left off of Argentina's team twice in his career before he finally made it, and said he never even got a phone call. Or back then, I'm not even sure the first time around they had email, that maybe the second as well in 94, 98. The email wasn't that common, and he might not have had a computer as a professional soccer player. Might not really needed one at that stage. That was early internet. So I don't think that was a big deal. I think people are trying to make it a deal. The important thing is who gets in, and I'm sure it's hard for the players that are left off, like Luna, who I would have included. I would have found a way to include him. But I understand why they didn't. I mean, it really came down to him or Gio Reyna. Others will say it came down to him or Brendan Aronson. But I think it was really the two of them because they're very similar players in terms of they are creators. If you look at Luna's career in MLS, he's been in MLS for 4 full years, and he's got 13 career assists. I mean, that's a fair amount for a playmaking midfielder,
no doubt.
And so that's kind of who he is. And when yesterday, Poach was finally asked about Reyna, and I had intended to write about Reyna, had most of my column written by the time the announcement was. I like the woman who asked about him with the very last question. I need to know who she was because she's my hero. Because Pochettino came out and just was so effusive in his praise of Gio. And, he barely played him. in the last year or two, and Gio has barely played for his league team as well over in Germany, and so he is counting heavily on Reyna's talent and superseding what he's accomplished, as opposed to a hardworking guy, a very productive guy, a skilled guy like Luna, but not. I don't think anybody's going to sit here and say that on pure talent that he is Reyna. And so he bet on Pochettino bet on the talent, and now it's up to Reyna to, one, comport himself like a pro, which I think it's fair to say he failed at in 2022. And then when he gets the opportunity, whatever opportunities he gets here in the U.S., he has to seize them and do excellent things with them.
Yeah, look, we know what the talent that Gio Reyna has, and that's why we had all the controversy 4 years ago when he was basically, not used. I know he was used some, but not used, and the controversy.
But he was not used because of how he comported himself when he was told that he wouldn't start.
Totally understand all of that, but there were obviously all the breakdowns and not communications. He is responsible for his behavior. I'm not giving him a pass on it, but we all know what kind of talent he has. He hasn't been able to really show that significantly for the U.S. I will say this. I don't understand why Joe Scally is on the team at the expense of Diego Luna. I've seen Scally does. I don't think he's going to make an impact. I bet he doesn't even play.
Yeah, if he does play, that means something went wrong.
Yes.
And the reason he is there is because he can function in three positions. He can play left back if he has to. He's a natural right back, and he can play the right side of a three-man back line if he has to. You wouldn't want him in any of those positions. He would probably – and I agree with you. He doesn't do much for me.
Nothing.
And he doesn't seem to do much for the teams on which he plays, which is why he doesn't do much for me. And so I would say that if he is out there, something has gone wrong. But that's the reason he was included. It's really not one versus the other. It was really more Aronson, who's a consummate pro, hardworking, and
had a good year.
And he had a nice year at a higher level than where Luna plays. I know that our soccer writer Kyle Bond, who's terrific, said it was really for him more between Luna and Aronson, but they aren't similar players that much. They can be used in similar positions, but they play differently. I think it really was more Reyna against Luna, and like I said, Poach bet on the talent, not on the production.
I'd have taken them both and left Joe Scally over in Germany. Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News at TSN. Mike, my friend, we'll talk about the World Cup before we get to it, but we're only, a week and a half away. I'm excited.
Yes, it is really coming fast.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We have to rewind. We'll talk about Game 4 tonight and why it is such an enormous game. I will sum it up for you next.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Oh, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Every day, you need to check with us at FanDuel because every day during the NBA playoffs, FanDuel serving up a happy hour just for you. No, not drinks, although that's on your own. We're talking special drops you don't want to miss, profit boost, bonus bets, and more. Check for a new reward every single day of the NBA playoffs, and man, enjoy Spurs, Thunder, Epic. Don't miss your shot to get a little extra out of the action. FanDuel.com/local, FanDuel.com/local during the NBA playoffs every day. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and maximum wager amount. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round.
doesn't fudge on deliciousness. Our new Black Raspberry Fudge ice cream in pints and half gallons combines black raspberry flavored ice cream with dark chocolate flavored chunks and a chocolate fudge swirl. The result is real. Taste the truth.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
Carolina Complete Health, from neighborhoods in Charlotte to families in Greensboro, Raleigh, and Durham, all the way to Asheville and Wilmington, and everything in between. We are here for communities across North Carolina, connecting you to the care and support you need. We are here to make healthcare easier to access and understand. We are here to bridge the gap, because your health matters. Your community matters. You matter. We are here for your health. Visit hereforyourhealthnc.com.
As public power customers, we experience fewer outages and faster restoration than customers of other electric providers. But the benefits of having a locally owned electric system go far beyond unbeaten reliability. Our local public power employees support our community, providing electric hookups for events, installing and maintaining ballpark lights, holiday lights, traffic lights, street lights, and more. Local people working together to meet local needs. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
If you want the nation's best auto insurer, look no further than North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Rated #1 in Crash Network's Insurer Report Card 7 years in a row, we're the only insurer in the nation to receive an A+ rating from auto body shops. Our philosophy is simple: be fair, be quick, be the best. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Your child's doctor shares your goals: a healthy future for your child. Doctors recommend vaccines throughout childhood because they protect what matters most: your child's future from preventable disease and serious illness. Discuss any questions you have and check that your child is up to date and talk about any concerns. You're right to have questions. Get real answers. Start a conversation with your doctor today. Visit vaccinesforkids.nc.gov. Paid for by NCDHHS.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
Person in front of me in line had a box of wine.
Oh, yeah. I feel that person. If you are buying boxed wine on a Friday, that thing is open right now.
In the car.
Yeah. I don't even need it to cool down.
She jammed a big straw right through the top of the box in the car.
Went to the gas station to get a cup of ice. Like, they don't even care.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. I'm checking out the scores from TST, which started today. And the morning session, afternoon, first early session is over. The evening session, I believe, starts at 5 o'clock tonight. And again, I know, I realize you can hear us in Asheville and you can hear us in Wilmington and all over the place. But if you're local in Raleigh and you haven't been to TST, and shame on you if you're not interested in Carolina Montreal tonight. But if you're not, TST is a great time. It is fast-paced soccer. It's actually closer to hockey than it is. I mean, it's soccer, but it's got a pace to it that you will love. It is a fun time.
Hopefully the weather holds up. I know we're in that period of time with this season where it's there's a shower.
Yeah, but we did rain hard yesterday. No, 2 days ago.
2 days ago, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because we were in 2 days ago. We were in Fayetteville for a hot minute.
Oh.
And I swear I
bottom just fell out.
I thought where we were was going to blow up.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm glad it didn't.
It was absolutely crazy, but TST is an absolute blast of a time. So Wake Med Soccer Park session 5 o'clock tonight, and then it cranks back up tomorrow morning, and it's all day. all day, all the way. The finals are on Monday. So there you go. All right. I want to talk real quick about game number 4 tonight. It's a must-win from this standpoint. Now, look, Carolina's ahead in the series 2-1. They took back home ice advantage. You get 2. If you lose tonight, you still get 2 of the last 3 at home. Just win your home games, you're fine. But you didn't win the first home game. Yeah, I know. It was an 11-day layoff. I get it. But why would you... This is where I think it is a must-win tonight. Because every time you play a game, there is a physical risk. This is just one element. Why would you play any more games than you have to? So if you're Carolina, your mindset is, we have to win tonight. And then, once that is accomplished, you can close the whole thing out on Friday and play just 2 more games and save yourself the wear and tear of a Game 6 and a trip back to Montreal and or a Game 7 and a roll of the dice against a team that has already won twice on the road in Game 7s. Beat Tampa on the road and beat Buffalo on the road. You can avoid that by taking care of the business tonight. So that's just the physical part of it. But then there is the mental part of it. Right now, this is the way it looked to me. Yes, Montreal got 2 great looks in the first minute of the overtime. But after that, it was one-way traffic, man. Carolina dominated the rest of the overtime, and finally Andrei Svechnikov scored through Sebastian Aho's net front screen. And I do believe that Montreal, they're not doubting themselves, but Montreal has played now 17 games. Carolina has played 11. Played in the same period of time. I mean, I know Carolina went first, but it's not like Montreal waited 5 days to play. I mean, essentially, and if they did start later, they've played 17 games in a much more concentrated period of time. So you should be wearing them down, and you are. That's the way it looked to me. Montreal looked to me to be a little bit of a tired team. 6 icings in overtime. 6. You don't want to ice the puck 6 times in a game. They iced it 6 in overtime. I think they had 15, either 13 or 15 for the game. So, and that is born out of being tired. Put your foot on their necks. Put them out of their misery. You can't win the series tonight, but you can avoid giving them any hope that it's going to be any different the next time. So what I want is for the team to play the same way they have played the last 2 games, and then add the element that has sorely been missing in regulation, and that is the top line getting on the score sheet. Sebastian Aho has 1 goal. Again, the 2 empty net goals we're going to ignore, but that goal came as a penalty kill, if you will, was expiring. It's really a shorthanded goal. Sebastian Aho has not scored a 5-on-5 goal. Andrei Svechnikov has 2. The one in overtime and the one that opened the third period of Carolina's 4-3 win in Philadelphia in Game 3. Seth Jarvis has 1. No, I think he's got 2. Either way, that's too few. We need more. When those 3 guys step their offensive contributions up, that's when the Hurricanes look like a team that can win the Stanley Cup. They're not going to do it without that. And I don't think it's not a hot take to say that. Has Carolina survived 10-1 without them all over the score sheet? They have. And I am telling you, they will not. I don't think they'll win this series unless those three guys start factoring in offensively. And I think it has to start tonight because I think you're going to get what I would term Montreal's last gasp effort. If you are the Canadiens and you do not win tonight, I think Friday is going to go very poorly for them. This is the night you win the series if you are Carolina. You win it by suffocating them again, but then adding the element that you haven't really had. When they do that, I think you'll see a Hurricanes team that we go, yup, that is a Stanley Cup contender, maybe the favorite when we get there. If we get there. But boy, you lose the game tonight, Montreal flies down here without a plane. 2-2, they're comfortable on the road. Remember, they won games 5 and 7 on the road in their two previous series. That's right. They won 5 and 7 away from home in the last two series. I, for one, would not want to mess with that. Not to mention the fact that they have next level offensive skill. Be physical. Be on the edge, even. Because that's playoff hockey. On the edge is playoff hockey. Did you watch before we get to the rewind, Victoria, how much of the game did you watch last night?
All of it.
Okay. Did we ever get an explanation for why Tomas Hertl did not get a penalty for his hit on Marty Necas?
No.
I mean, that was fairly dirty.
Obvious, yeah.
I mean, I don't think there was a ton of contact.
Sure.
Which is maybe why that wasn't called.
Mm-hmm.
But there was enough contact.
You would think.
And it caused Necas' knee to look like it buckled. Now, he played.
Mm-hmm.
He came back and played, so he was not injured. But it didn't look good, and it was clear that, it was just, that should have been, at the very least, interference.
You would think.
Had to be a penalty, but it was not called.
No, they did not.
Which just shows you that the officiating has been poor in a lot of places.
Right.
It's not been good. All right, let's rewind. Jason Demers, NHL defenseman. 700 games in the regular season, 61 in the playoffs. A lot of that for San Jose, but he has played for a number of teams, including Florida. I asked him how you view the Canes-Habs series.
You know, Montreal's kind of done this all playoffs long. You know, I think they've exceeded expectations. Jakob Dobich has been fantastic. Yeah. You know, Lane Hudson has really broken out this season, and it's so funny to say he's broken out this early in his career. But they've gotten a lot of depth scoring, even though, albeit their top line has struggled for kind of portions of these playoffs. But Carolina's I think they're just primed. You know, they're just ready to go. It's their time. I think Montreal will win a cup in the next 5 years. I think they have a great setup of players, and I think this is a huge learning experience for them. And they keep kind of elevating their bar. But, you know, last game looked like you started to see signs of fatigue because they've been playing at such a, 2 game sevens, very hard-fought series, both series that they played, Buffalo and Tampa. And then they get Carolina that just does not give you a second to breathe. And I just think over a 7-game series, I don't think Montreal has a chance the way they play. They're a very opportunistic hockey team that waits for your mistakes. But Carolina is fine to just go downhill on you and just relentlessly pressure you and until you break. And they're going to out-volume you and get more shots and more chances. And after a while, being opportunistic and kind of counterpunching against the Carolina Hurricanes team, maybe 1 game you can beat them, maybe 2, but over a 7-game series, I think right now it's very difficult. And Freddie Anderson is even though he's getting 12 shots a game, is making big saves because when they do give up a shot, we've looked through the numbers a little bit between Carolina and Montreal, and even though Carolina's tripling their shots, the scoring chances are not that astronomically different. Like they're still getting scoring chances. So Freddie has to be on. He's been great, but I just think last game they broke something in game 3. You kind of saw it a little bit. That game should have never went to overtime, and if not for Dobesh, who's been a revelation for this Montreal Canadiens team. But I think it starts. I think it's. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes 5, max 6.
Well, if Carolina wins tonight, it shouldn't go 6. And I absolutely believe this. Carolina wins tonight, the series ends Friday. Carolina doesn't win tonight, we're back here Tuesday for Game 7. And again, Carolina can win Game 7. I trust them to win a Game 7. But I don't want to see a Game 7. Not against that group. Not against that group with the confidence that they would have for getting it to Game 7. There's a phrase that these are not games, they're series. I think Carolina can win the series tonight. They play the right way. All right, one more thing from Jason Demers, and this will be the last thing for us. Because we've heard for years now, Carolina's, they're not a physical team. They just skate, blah, blah, blah. You can push them around. I asked Jason, is Carolina more physical than we give them credit?
Oh, yeah. What I think they've bought into the physicality side. I think their bottom 6 has been very good. Martinook, Stahl, they're 2 heavy bodies. And then you got Robinson. You have Carrier, who, that was a penalty on Lane Hudson in the overtime. Yep. He gets him with a elbow in the head that should have been called, but it's not. But he's been very physical. They've done a great job of disrupting and taking a pound of flesh on Lane Hudson every chance they get and slowing him down. And then, their back end is a lot bigger than people think with Nick Keeshan. And Slavin's not necessarily this big, rough and tough guy that's going to run you over, but he leans on you and he makes it hard for you to score offensively. Keandre Miller's been great. He's been physical. So they're a bigger team than years past, and I think they've utilized their speed and the forecheck as a way to be physical. And you're even seeing guys that don't necessarily hit all the time. Taylor Hall has run over about 3-4 people, and he's been that's been their best line all season long. All playoffs long. I consider them. We talk about them at the network. That's the first line is Hall, Stankoven, and Blake. And it's just a matter of time before Svech and those guys heat up.
I hope that happens tonight. I could not be more serious about this. I think Carolina can win the series tonight. Yes, they will have to win another game. But the way Carolina goes about their business, you do what you do, and then add the element of Aho, Jarvis, Svechnikov being on the score sheet. That's the separator between these two teams, and Carolina won't need overtime tonight. Do that, and Friday becomes not a coronation, but they'll end it Friday. Victoria, thank you very much. Enjoy the games tonight, everybody, or game tonight. See ya.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Need more Stanley Cup chatter, Canes fans? Listen afternoons with Adam Gold in the Drive for our Cup check-in, served up by Carolina Ale House. We talk with hockey's best, past and present, bringing you the latest insight on the chase for Lord Stanley's Cup. It's the Cup check-in on 99.9 The Fan, served